I'm Christine Lisi. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers still making his mind up about whether he wants to return to the Packers next season. Told the Pat McAfee Show today he's undecided on his future at this point. Previously said all options are on the table, returning to Green Bay, asking for a trade, or retiring. It's up to you now, Cleveland Browns. That's the message receiver Jarvis Landry sent today via social media. Tweeted he'd like to stay in Cleveland, but added he's confident he can still be a piece for another team in winning a championship. Landry clearly keeping his options open, according to ESPN's Ryan Clark.
I believe that means he wants a long-term deal, and if they don't want to give him that deal, he's willing to go elsewhere, and he believes that he can help a team win. Jarvis Landry is a straight shooter. Jarvis Landry also watched his best friend move on and have huge success. So he's saying he's willing to stay, but if he has to go, he believes in himself and believes he could be a contributor.
That friend of Landry's that Ryan referenced, Odell Beckham Jr., who won a Super Bowl with the Rams after his November release from Cleveland. Landry is not a free agent, but he has no guaranteed money left on his current contract.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to After Further Review. I obviously am not Matt Moscona, the very important Matt Moscona, who has given me the great privilege to host his radio show this afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. My name is Jacques Doucet from WAFB Channel 9 here in Baton Rouge, and this is always a challenge. I tell people all the time, in my profession, I get 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes to do a sportscast, and on the weekends, maybe 6, 7 minutes to jam as much information into a sportscast as I can. And then you come on this show and you're here for 3 hours and have 3 hours of content to fill. So I always compliment Matt and tell him, I don't know how you do this 5 days a week. And then you do your Facebook Lives in the morning and then the evening and the boundless energy you have. But I'll do my best over the next 3 hours to have a great show with you guys this afternoon and have some fun. I can tell you coming up here at 3:30, we are scheduled to visit with the great Kim Mulkey, the LSU women's head basketball coach, the Hall of Famer, the lady that has brought one of the stories of the year. It has to be in women's college athletics and, quite frankly, one of the stories of the year in Louisiana sports, period. It's just been so much fun to see the rebirth of LSU women's basketball, and me being someone who's been at Channel 9 long enough, 21 years at the end of March, to have covered the glory days in the 2000s there. What was it, 2004 through 2008, those 5 straight Final Fours, and the big crowds and the outstanding players from Simone Augustus and Tamika Johnson and Sylvia Fowles and Kiana Chaney and Erica White and on and on and on. And then to see the place, fire a shotgun in there and not hit anybody. And then now have the crowds returning, the enthusiasm back. Looking forward to visiting with Kim Mulkey here coming up at 3:30. We'll talk some LSU football as well. Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com will join us at some point. We're going to visit with Bill Franques, the great sports information director with the LSU baseball program. Bill Franques really does like 10 jobs every game, it seems like. He's the PA announcer up there at Ellick Box Stadium. He sends out all the press releases before the game with information pertaining to the matchups and history and whatnot. And then after the game, he sends the recaps of the games and all the information you need for lazy local sportscasters like me to copy and paste. Every joke has an element of truth there, and then to host the post-game show with Paul Maneri all those years, and now with Jay Johnson stepping in. So we'll talk to Bill Franques. The Tigers have their first, I guess you could say, road trip of the season, their first midweek game, so to speak. They'll be at Louisiana Tech Wednesday. I believe they're departing from campus at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And we also, I think we're going to visit with Kolponen from the LSU softball team as well. And so we'll have some fun. I'm going to visit with my friend Fletcher Mackel from New Orleans as well to see what the latest is with Zion and the Pelicans, and talk some New Orleans Saints as we officially are moving past Sean Payton into what is next with the black and gold there. But first off, I'd like to visit with a coach who's doing an outstanding job and bringing excitement back to Southern basketball on the Bluff. He's in his 4th year with the team, and they are enjoying some great crowds and success. It is Sean Woods, head basketball coach of the Southern Jags. Hey, Coach, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
How are you today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad, man. I'm hosting Matt Moscona's show. These are big shoes to fill, you know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
a lot of pressure, like being a Kentucky basketball player, right? Right, Coach?
That's right.
Tell me about your playing days. And for those who don't know, I mean, you were a guy that laced up your sneakers and played at Rupp Arena in front of 22,000 people every night for home games. What was it like to be a Kentucky Wildcat?
Well, it was awesome. You know, you play in front of 25 every night, 25,000 every night for sure. The passion that is for Kentucky basketball is impeccable to anything that you can imagine. It's like, you know, when a Kentucky basketball game's on, the whole state is paralyzed because pretty much 85% of everyone who's in that state, unless you're just not from there, is watching a Kentucky basketball game.
Yeah, Coach, you know, I go cover the SEC basketball tournament a lot through the years, and certainly blue and white is everywhere, no matter where the tournament is, whether it's in Nashville or Tampa or whatever. And a lot of times I would hear these people that are at the SEC tournament, the reason they're coming is this is the only chance they get a chance to see the team, because all the season tickets at Rupp Arena are sold out. They can't get in. So
no doubt about it. When I'll tell you what, season tickets are such a commodity in the state of Kentucky. You know, if a family gets divorced, you know, it's not what, you know, the main project. The main problem is not the house or the cars or the bank account. It's the Kentucky basketball ticket. So it lets you know how serious a Kentucky basketball ticket in Rupp Arena is.
All right, you take the house and the pool, but I get the season tickets to Kentucky basketball.
That's right.
Before we talk about the Jags real quick, Kentucky's playing LSU tomorrow night at Rupp. So
yeah, in Rupp, yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens
there. They had, LSU had success when the Cats came to town a couple 2-3 weeks ago.
I'm sure that won't be a motivational topic at all, right? That won't be brought up.
Oh, man. I'm sure Cal will have his guys ready when LSU comes to town.
Yeah, that was on the same night as the Texas Bowl, Coach. I was covering the Texas Bowl in Houston when LSU played Kansas State. I can tell you, I might have preferred being at the LSU-Kentucky game that night, but
wow.
The way that went. But anyway, well, tell me about Southern basketball, Coach. Sean Woods, the head coach, is joining us now, and right now you're one game back of first place there in the SWAC. I guess.
No, we're tied for first. It's not one game; it's like a half a game because they played more than us.
I see. Okay, so I looked at the standings.
We're still tied for first, yeah.
Okay, I looked at the standings. They had one team above you there in terms of Texas Southern. They got you at 11-4. Okay, Texas Southern 11-4. You're 10-4. But regardless, you got 4 games down the stretch here to play, right, for the regular season title. Tell me, I guess it's kind of bittersweet. I look and see that you had 7,300 the other night at home against Grambling. I've been here a long time. I can never remember that many people being in the mini dome for a basketball game, but you guys came up a little bit short.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we dominated the whole game, man. It's one of the weirdest games I've ever been involved with. We were controlling pretty much 38 minutes of the game, whether, what the score was. And, when you don't put the ball in the hole and you don't take advantage of some great defensive stops that you got, now you're allowing luck to come into the game. And, they hit a bomb, a kid that shoots 20% from the three, and with a man in his face, and 17 seconds left, he hits a bomb, and that was pretty much the game. We came down and missed a shot and had to foul. So, it was just a thing. We didn't finish the game. It was a rival game, and I just feel so bad that we had it jam-packed in the mini dome and just came up short. But, our team has been playing great all year. And, I'm hoping this is just a wake-up call so we can get back on a run, finishing the regular season out and hopefully being, champs with the regular season going into the tournament.
Coach, how do you view a regular season title in terms of if we can win the SWAC in the regular season? Because that really is a great accomplishment. You have proven over a long stretch of games that you are the best in the league. But let's be honest, there's only one team really that's going to get into the NCAA tournament, right? The one that wins the SWAC tournament and gets hot for several games in the tournament. So how do you view all that?
Well, you still, you're a competitor and you want to win everything. But, right now, we want to win the regular season and finish it off as the best team in the regular season conference. So, that was a goal of ours. We were picked fifth at the beginning of the year, some polls sixth. And for us to finish this thing off would be amazing, having momentum going into the tournament. Yeah,
because the regular season winner does get an automatic bid to the NIT, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and I know you're thinking big dance, and Southern certainly been in the big dance many times over the years. I can remember the year they got in and played Gonzaga down to the wire. Gonzaga slipped away as a number one seed and won that game barely, but certainly we'd like to see you guys in there. You've had a balanced scoring team throughout the year, and when you and I visited the other day, you were very high on Jaden Sadler and told me that, for what he does and provides for your team, he may be one of the most valuable guards in the entire country.
No doubt about it, and I still feel that way. And he hasn't had, hadn't played his best the last couple of games, been in foul trouble, and that lets you know what a significant part that he plays for our team. When he plays bad, we don't play bad, but we're not as good as we want to be. And he has that type of impact on our team on both ends of the court.
Coach, tell me about the next challenge for you, moving ahead here and hitting the stretch here. What do you want to see your team improve upon?
Well, we got to finish the games. You know what I mean? We hadn't shot the ball great, and that was surprising to me, being at home and everything, and not shooting the ball great, because we got great shots at the basket. We just didn't make a lot of them. And you're shooting 20% from the field. It's going to be hard whether you're home or away to beat anybody. And we played great enough defense, held them to 20-some%, almost right at 30% from the field, and just to finish the game. Miss some uncharacteristic free throws down the stretch and things like that. But we just we're not going to ponder on that. We got to look forward to Bethune-Cookman, which is Saturday, and we control our own fate here if we want to be the regular season champs.
Bethune-Cookman, you went on the road and won there, if I remember correctly, right?
Right.
So you've won at their place, and what about them? The addition to Bethune-Cookman and then a Florida A&M coming to the SWAC. How has that enhanced the league?
Well, it just adds another dimension. Just add two other HBCUs for the MEAC who have had success in the MEAC the last few years, and it breaks our league that much better and more competitive. You know what I mean? And the two great coaches there with Reggie Theus and what's his name over at Florida A&M. But it just adds to the depth of the teams and the great programs in our league. Because all these schools are coming up in their whole athletic program.
Sean Woods, the head coach at Southern University, men's basketball program, is with us now. You're 4 years into the job, or 3.5, whatever, in your fourth year. How is this playing out in terms of you being the head coach there, and what are some things maybe in your long-term vision that you would like to see accomplished there? Well,
first of all, it's our fourth year. Our second year, I thought we were really good, and we were peaking at the right time, won 14, 15 out of our last 16 going into the tournament, and because of COVID, we had to turn around. And that team right there was red hot and was playing some dominating basketball down the stretch. And we caught up too late and was a game behind Prairie View that year as far as the regular season goes. But we thought that we were the best team going into the league. Going into the tournament, we were red hot. Unfortunately, we had to turn around, so that was a great year. And then last year was just a myth. It was just a mist with COVID and everything being on and off. It was like coaching the AAU team. We still managed to have some success, but it was just so hard, catching up when you never having your team all year, and every 14 days somebody else is got to go into quarantine for this or that. So it was just it wasn't a great feel. And this team here, we were able to we get our guys in early and establish our culture again as far as the preseason is concerned. We got the guys to come in back in June, and as you can see, we were having success early too, because we won 6 pre-conference games and a couple 2-3 money games. So we finally got it back, and that's where we are right now. It's one of the top teams in the SWAC, and that's where we want to be and want to stay for years to come. I think we're heading in that direction.
Sean Woods, the head basketball coach of the Southern University Jaguars, joining us now. You and I had a great conversation the other day about the transfer portal, which is a controversial subject. It's when it works for you, nobody complains, and then when kids go away, then sometimes people complain. But in your case, you've really utilized the transfer portal to build this current team, correct?
No doubt about it. The good thing is our nucleus is back. And, the guys that we signed last year all left. But, I can understand, because things were just so not well balanced across the country. As you can see, it was so many guys going into the transfer portal, because everywhere in America was such a disconnect between coaches and players, because you never could be around each other except in the gym. Mm-hmm. Half that time, somebody was in quarantine, and so you just couldn't get a grip on anything from a social or a relationship standpoint. And people just left, and not only from our school but all over. And when we entered this transfer portal, gun ho about it, we had to make sure that we got the right fit. And the right fit was, we're not just going to recruit a kid just because he's at a high major school or came from a higher school. We want to recruit a kid that came from a winning program and played a significant role in that program, and because that's the culture and the type of kid that knows how to win and been in a winning program. That's what we wanted. And we were fortunate that every last kid that we got in the transfer portal came from a winning program.
Well, yeah, you brought up some good points there. I guess it's been unordinary more than half the time you've been at Southern in terms of COVID and crowds being down.
Oh, my God, yes. It's just so unordinary. You know what I mean? COVID has really played a part, and it took away a championship, I thought. Mm-hmm. And it hindered us even getting started that well last year. And then this year, we've knock on wood, we haven't lost anything or anybody because of it. And this is where we are I think.
Yeah, Coach, I'll never forget that day. I was in Nashville, Tennessee to cover the SEC basketball tournament. I had driven up there, and somebody was talking about some guy in the NBA had something called COVID, and I didn't really was paying attention to what that was. And the next day I wake up and they say, well, there's going to be no fans at the SEC tournament here in Nashville. By noon, they had canceled the SEC basketball tournament. By 1 or 2 o'clock, they had canceled the NCAA tournament. And then by the time the sun went down, they had canceled the College World Series for both the men and the women. It was probably one of the most shocking days professionally ever that I can remember. I mean, can you remember that day yourself?
Yeah, I can remember it very clearly. We were on the bus, and our guys were so confident and high on the way we were playing. To tell them that it was over and we couldn't receive anything from the fruits of our labor was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do as a coach. To say, hey, we as great as the season we've had and are still having, it's over. Yeah. And to see those kids' faces after that was very devastating to me.
Yeah, it was just a eerie spring. Like, it was a beautiful spring in terms of weather. We had like some of the best weather ever, and people were just walking around like, what do we do? It's just, all our everyday stuff was taken away. But anyway, let me finish with this. Sean Woods, the head basketball coach at Southern, joins me. Name, image, and likeness certainly seems to be playing a big role in SWAC football and HBCU football, and we're seeing big names like Deion Sanders and Hugh Jackson get involved with football, and you're hearing stuff about that, and kids maybe getting deals to go to HBCUs. How is name, image, and likeness translating to SWAC basketball and HBCU basketball?
I'll tell you what, we're involved with it right now, and our athletic director, Roman Banks, who was, he knows basketball. He coached here before I did. He gets it. And, we're not only working for one or two guys, we're trying to help them, our whole athletic program, get involved and be a kind of a kickstart to the community so they can get involved and be more active in this situation. I wish this was around when I was a player. I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, certainly at a place like Kentucky, right? I mean, you guys were gods, right? I mean, you're the big men on campus.
See, social media helps. You're attractive because everything's through social media now and the internet. So if you got a lot of followers, that makes you more attractive to a business because everybody follows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That person's idea. So it kind of works out for these kids big time in their own personal lives. They're not going to miss a beat because who they are and what they've been doing. Now they're going to reap the benefits, which I'm all for. How
do you balance that between I, me, and team when you're dealing with that kind of stuff?
Well, here's the deal. It's coming through us, the institution, and we're trying to be as fair as possible and give everybody an opportunity. But
right.
As far as individually, it's just up to them. We have no control over that. It says who's most popular, who's hot. What makes sense for that business to have you as a spokesperson or whatever for their business. But we've been getting educated a lot on it, and there's something for everyone. Every business, because of advertising, I think they need to capitalize on this just as much as the kids because it can help them.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. Tell Roman Banks hello, by the way. And how about that guy, real quick? I always thought that his coaching ability and the trajectory of his career, he could have been a big-time college coach, like in terms of go to the SEC or one of these places one day, and he for his love of Southern, he became the AD there and has done a pretty fine job.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's a great basketball mind, and Roman and I have been knowing each other for a long time. We were old young assistants, didn't have any money, used to share hotel rooms together back in the day and talk basketball. So it's kind of a match made in heaven because both of us are basketball guys, same age, great friends, and a lot of coaches don't have that. 9 times out of 10, you're hired by a search firm, and the university has no clue who you are. So there's never a relationship established at the beginning with that. So, I'm blessed, and he's blessed with it also.
Well, Coach, we're rooting for you. Looking forward to the stretch run of the regular season and then the SWAC tournament in Birmingham, and then hopefully the NCAA tournament. Sean Woods, the head coach of the Southern Jaguars. Thanks so much, man. And if you need any help, you know where to find me.
No doubt about it.
Take care, buddy. All right, Sean Woods, head basketball coach at Southern. They are right there in the thick of things, tied for first place, as he told me, for the regular season title there. And then, obviously, we all know that it's the winner of the SWAC tournament that typically, well, of course, gets that one bid to the NCAA tournament moving forward. I'm Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona today. I have the very affable Matt Musso. Matt, do you want to say hello? I know you just had a 2-hour show, but let's get you involved. Let's pass you the ball.
How's it going, people? JD, good day, good day.
Good to see you, man. You got to be excited. The birds are chirping. LSU baseball's back.
We're feeling real good after this weekend.
Yeah?
Real good.
I can't remember. It seems like in recent years they've always slipped up in one of those first 3 games. Like it's the Sunday, it's the somebody boots the ball or something happens, something quirky to not only get a sweep. I know LSU's not going to be playing Maine in the Super Regional. I think
right, of course,
safe to say that. But the way they went out and just kind of dusted them was encouraging.
With 51 runs, that doesn't stink.
Yeah, it was. So Friday night, LSU baseball's got a 2-0 lead. I saw Blake Money at the first pitch banquet. I did not recognize him.
Of course not.
He lost 40 pounds, 45 pounds, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the post-game interview the other day, I kind of said, well, when you lose weight, there's always kind of fear of losing power. He goes, yeah, mass equals gas and blah, blah, blah. But I feel great. And Could be the first time, Moose, in a post-game interview I've had an LSU student-athlete wear a Cowboy hat. I think
it was a good look.
Yeah.
It was a good look. I liked it.
Handsome dude. I'm sure he gets, he's got his share of attention there on campus after what he strike out, 10?
10.
So, great start. I don't think at the end of last year, would you have said Blake Money's going to be your Friday starter?
I would not have said that. I wouldn't have, to your point, though, I didn't recognize him either during the scrimmages or anything. I thought he changed his jersey number. I thought somebody else had on 44. I had to go look at the roster. So a blowout win. Friday night got a little miserable, did it not? I mean, the 8th and 9th were cold.
Yeah. You get out there, it's the first game. You got your adrenaline pumping. We see the Tigers take the field for the first time. Fourth inning, okay, it's not too bad. But, man, when that wind started gusting in from center in those latter innings, it was rough. And then let's see. So Saturday, what was the Saturday score?
Saturday was 17-8.
17-8. That's right. That's right. So Sunday, I go to the game. Sunday, kind of the big story for me was the women's basketball team was about to play Florida in the PMAC, and they were going to have a sellout crowd and everything. But I went to the baseball game first, and 11 runs, Moose, in 2 innings. That's a local sportscaster's dream with the camera. Believe me.
Right. Yeah,
we're in and out.
Yeah, all your B-roll you need for the pack the rest of the day, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say, and this home run made it 17-0. Yeah. But there you go. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and Kim Mulkey, the LSU women's head basketball coach, the Hall of Famer, scheduled to join us here after the break.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Tell you every day, buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery for more than 60 years. You know, when we get into the winter months, it's actually the perfect time to plant trees and shrubs. So maybe this Christmas or holiday season, if you got a citrus tree as a gift, or maybe you're putting in a pool, or maybe you want to just add some privacy shrubs to your outdoor area, this is actually the perfect time of year to plant them. And nobody has a better selection than Clegg's Nursery. Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. 4 locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area, so you're never far from a Clegg's Nursery location. Not only do they have full greenhouses, but they're also partnered with True Value Hardware Store, so everything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So check off those honeydews. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back to After Further Review. I'm Jacques Doucet from WAFB Channel 9, filling in for the very important Matt Moscona today, who's on vacation. Moose, this is his second vacation, or how long has he been off?
This is the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was gone last week, or 2 weeks ago, here last week, and now he's gone again.
Well, you got to take it sometime.
I guess so.
There's no slow time of year in sports in South Louisiana. And right now, the LSU Lady Tigers women's basketball team, 23 victories, only 4 defeats, and we are talking about the possibility of them hosting NCAA tournament games in the PMAC. I was having a discussion with Grant today, the sports information director for the women's team, something that hasn't happened in 8 years, which was the last time, oh, by the way, LSU won a game in the NCAA tournament. And the lady who has brought so much excitement to the program and has gotten people interested in women's basketball who were never interested in women's basketball before is Kim Mulkey, and she's nice enough to join us right now. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We're outstanding. We're doing well, and I know it's not time to throw a parade yet, but just congratulations on everything that you and the young ladies have accomplished so far. I know this past Sunday wasn't a Final Four game or anything like that, but I hope you remember that game moving forward, because all the stars kind of aligned for you with the big crowd, the awesome game, and the Tigers win.
Well, it was a fun atmosphere. I just thought the crowd was electric. Very not a pretty game. It wasn't an ugly game. It was two teams that play defense, 2 teams that are very good, and just grinding it out, trying to win. And we were fortunate that we played at the PMAC, and our crowd was behind us, and what a great crowd it was.
I think somebody named Kramer Robertson described the game as ugly. I don't think I did, but just checking.
Well, I will forgive him. He thinks he knows a thing or two about my sport. I don't try to coach him in baseball, but, hey, he's into it. You got to love it. He thinks every game that's in the 90s and the 100s makes it a pretty game.
That's right. That's right. That's how we all grow up, right, Coach? We all want to shoot and make three-pointers, and you talk about all the time throwing the ball in the corner, and let's have a practice without a basketball. We're gonna work on some defense and some slides and some fundamentals.
Well, isn't that the way it is? Everybody wants to be the quarterback. Everybody wants to be the point guard. Everybody wants to score points. Nobody wants to do the dirty work.
That's right. It's like the scene from Hoosiers, right? Gene Hackman, throw the balls away. We're going to work on the fundamentals. But, your team finds another way to win. We talk about Kayla Pointer, Alexis Morris, who I visited with today. What a special person. And Jalen Cherry. I think one game you score 73 points. They score 65 of them. But this past Sunday against Florida, they go 9 of 47 from the floor. If I'm Florida looking at that box score, I think I'm going to win today. And your bigs show up and carry their weight, and you win the game.
How many games, if you follow us this year, how many games would you think we'd win when Kayla Pointer goes 1 for 17? Not many. She has help around her, and then Alexis didn't shoot it good. Cherry didn't shoot it good. Your post missed very few shots, and so we threw it in there, and I'm glad we did, and I acknowledged it to the media afterwards. I said it again in film session today. We don't win that game without our big Sunday.
Alexis Morris, by the way, I don't know if it's breaking news or what, but she today told me she'll be back next year, a 6th year with you. That's I'm sure that makes you feel good.
Well, it does. You know, this day and age, you always wait and hold your breath after the season to see how many return, and the transfer portal is what it is, but that doesn't surprise me. Alexis is going to write the ending to her college career, and she started with me, was dismissed. She attended 2 other schools, and now she's going to end it with me, and I couldn't be more excited.
That is a tremendous story, and today she just said so much that she believes in you. She believes in your morals, I think were the words that she used to be dismissed from that team. She just said, look, my freshman year in college, I was immature. I didn't understand about being on time and this and that. And it took a winding road for her to go to Rutgers and her to go to Texas A&M and then finally make her way back to you. I think there was a great press conference this past year, a post-game press conference, where she said, I just always wanted to play for Coach Mulkey. And you kind of leaned over and rubbed her head like she was one of your kids. It was that was a touching moment.
You know, Jacques, there are many times coaches dismiss players, and in their heart they say, don't let the door hit you on the way out. What a disruption, what a cancer in the locker room, no matter how good they are. That was not the case with Alexis Morris. It was one of those gut-wrenching decisions I had to make, and I knew when she left, I thought about that kid often. It's just you have to make decisions sometimes that are best for the locker room. And like she said, it was immature things she did. It wasn't anything that was just truly disruptive, but you've got a locker room full of All-Americans, top team in the country, and you just can't put up with that. And I think I'm going to be able to watch her end her career and own her mistakes and own where she went wrong. And how many kids and parents do that anymore? It's always the coach's fault.
Kim Mulkey, the great Kim Mulkey, joins us, and Alexis did sign an NIL deal with Gordon McKernan, and she took care of her teammates with some pretty nice tennis shoes as well, so that was cool to see.
I saw that. I was not there. I can't be a part of all of that, but,
yeah,
you know, it speaks volumes when your local businesses and people take an interest in women's basketball. We all know across the country, NIL, football, men's basketball, baseball, but there's not many that take a true interest in helping the female athlete. And for Gordon to do that for her and for the team, you bet we're going to embrace that.
The great Kim Mulkey joins us. I bounce around, Coach. I got ADD. It's just what I do. But a year ago at this time, you're coaching Baylor. You're heading towards March Madness, as you always have. To put yourself in a time portal and say, a year from now, I'm going to be coaching the LSU Lady Tigers. We're going to be 23-4. Heading down the stretch. It's funny how life works out, huh?
Well, it is. You know, I've said it many times. God works in mysterious ways. No, you would never have thought I would have left Baylor. Certainly coming back home was an attraction, and I've said it many times. I didn't just come back to win basketball games. I came back to impact anything I could for the state of Louisiana. And to be 23-4, ranked in the top 10, I have to attribute it to those 5 seniors who gave us a chance as a staff, who waited to see who LSU hired and then embraced everything we threw at them and challenged them, and how quickly they've done it. And that just tells you about those kids and their talent.
Coach, somebody may look at your record who hasn't been watching the games and say, oh, they're 23-4, and think that you're running over people. I think one of the beautiful things about this team is that so many of these games have been an absolute war, and you've had to squeeze every little bit out of this team, and they've had to, give every bit to make it to the finish line and win these games. I mean, so many of these games, including the game against Florida, just goes down the wire, and LSU's just had a little bit more than the other guys to win.
And I've talked to the seniors about that. Look at last year, how many games they were juniors at the time, how many they lost that went down to the wire. And I said, just do things every day in practice so that when it gets down to the wire again, you're going to be on the winning end of it. And boy, have they been.
I'm talking to Grant today, your sports information director that does a great job. We went back and looked. 2020 was kind of the last season It got cut off right before the tournament, but they played a normal season under normal circumstances. The average attendance for home games was 2,036. One of the crowds was that game where they bring in all the students from the schools, and I think it was close to 7,000. Those kind of games that you don't like, right? You want people to show up because you want to see the team. To get 13,000 this past weekend and to be averaging over 7,000 per home game, it's just been fantastic. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, winning causes a lot of that. People want to follow winners. I think that when you're new staff and you are connected to the state of Louisiana, you bring in fans that may not be LSU fans, but they may be Kim Mulkey fans. They may be just understanding that, hey, let's go support a winner. And I think that's a lot of it. And my staff works extremely hard trying to engage the community, knocking on doors, selling tickets, picking up the phone, making the Fast Break Club have larger numbers. It doesn't just happen because of winning, but winning certainly helps it.
Coach, visiting with your son Kramer the other day, he told me he thought if you would have stayed at Baylor, you might have gone 4 or 5 more years and you would have retired. He thinks now he sees a gleam in your eye. You're re-energized. Your staff is re-energized, and that hopefully, like you told me in an off-season interview, your health is really good and continues to be that way. That you might go, give LSU 10 very solid years. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I always said that I'm not a lifer. I see too many coaches stay too long. I hope that I'm able to gauge that the product I'm putting on the floor is still competitive and it's good and it represents LSU in a way that everybody's proud and wants to watch. And the second thing is certainly your health. If you don't have good health, you can't do this job. It's a round-the-clock, 12 months out of a year job. And those two things, I hope that stay good. If I'm putting a product on that floor and we're recruiting good and I see that, this program's on the rise and it's not becoming stagnant again, you stay and you keep doing it. And then your health. You got to stay healthy.
Coach, one more thing before we let you go, and we really appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us. You've got one more home game, at least, this Thursday when you play the Alabama Crimson Tide. And those seniors, it'll be technically their last home game, although there's big hopes of hosting in the NCAA tournament. What would you say to fans to get out and make sure they support the Tigers one last time at home?
Thursdays are a difficult night to draw a great crowd. We're not selfish enough or greedy enough to think that we're going to get 13 or 14,000 in there on a Thursday night. But I expect us to have 6, 7, 8,000 in there because this is the last time that you will see these seniors in the regular season setting. Now, if we're fortunate enough to host the first and second round, the NCAA completely takes over your arena. You won't even recognize it. You'll have to sit in certain sections. You won't get to sit in a section of the season ticket that you bought. You'll have 4 teams here, and, it's basically NCAA run. So I would say come, cheer loud, see those kids, give them a correct and admirable recognition that they deserve.
The great Kim Mulkey, the Hall of Famer, enjoying a fantastic season. Coach, thanks so much for coming on the show today. Look forward to the game on Thursday.
And you bet. Tell folks to wear gold on Thursday. Gold out.
There you go. Appreciate it. There you go. See, Musso, it's not just a baseball thing, the gold. They're bringing it to the women's hoops as well.
Whenever you need a win, LSU teams wear gold.
There you go. The power of the gold. Warren Morris, 1996. We'll take a commercial break. Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds. Remind you about our friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana. For years, I've told you so many examples of your friends and neighbors, our listeners, who have called Insurance Network of Louisiana. This process is so easy. I don't want it to be intimidating because sometimes people think insurance, I don't know, I don't know what my coverage is. I haven't looked at it in so long. Don't be intimidated. At Insurance Network of Louisiana, the guys and gals over there are awesome, and they can walk you through the entire process. It's easy. It starts with one phone call. You call Insurance Network of Louisiana, they take a little bit of information, and then they go shop. They do all the work for you. And then they'll come back with you and let you know if they were able to find you better coverage for less money. It's basically like this, the analogy I give. Would you hire an agent if you were an athlete that could only negotiate with one team? Or would you rather hire an agent that can negotiate the best deal among all the teams? That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, welcome back to After Further Review. Jacques Doucet from WAFB Channel 9 filling in for the great Matt Moscona. Had some fun so far. Sean Woods, great man, head coach of the Southern men's basketball team, joined us off the top. And the great Kim Mulkey, Hall of Famer, nice enough to give us a nice chunk of her time a while ago talking about the team. I will say this, when I first came to Baton Rouge, women's basketball was just, I didn't know much about it and didn't maybe care a whole lot about it. But as I started working at Channel 9 and covering the teams and covering Tamika Johnson and Sylvia Fowles and Simone Augustus and Kiana Chaney and starting to go to travel to Fresno, California in 2007 and see LSU whip UConn to go to the Final Four and, going to all these places and whatnot. I got into it and I got invested in it. And when it started to slip, and I guess you could say from 2007 through 2020, it mostly slipped. There were 2 or 3 Sweet 16s in there and whatnot. But somehow we went from going to the Final Four 5 times to, well, you can't complain when the team makes the tournament, gets bounced in the first round. You can't complain about that. And I told Tamika Johnson during the offseason, I saw Tamika, I said, it always kind of irritated me the way they let it slip. And she said, if it irritated you, how do you think we felt? And LSU is back in women's basketball, and it starts with coaching. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back.
AFR.
Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Look for that pinnacle green. Pinnacle Exterior Construction allows you to take that boring backyard and turn it into an oasis. Turn it into a show place. These hot Louisiana summers, if you ever dreamed about having your own pool in the backyard you go dive into, Pinnacle can make that happen. Not just pools. Custom pools and outdoor kitchens, fences, decks, bulkheads, even have a concrete crew. Want to repave your driveway? You want to extend your patio? Pinnacle can do it all. And because they stock aluminum and wood, they get to you quicker at a lower price. Because they don't use subcontractors, they control their schedule. They also control better pricing, so it can be more affordable to go with Pinnacle, and financing is available. Call for that free consultation, 757-6138, 757-6138, or PECbuilt.com for Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
AFR is brought to you by DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and DraftKings live mobile betting in Louisiana. What an awesome time right now. So many people were introduced to DraftKings through the Super Bowl And, man, it is just a great time right now to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and to use these great promotions. If you use the promo code Baton Rouge, you'll get $150 in free bets when you bet just $1 on any team and win. So go find the most slam dunk, pun intended, bet you can find. Bet $1. They'll give you $150 in free bets when you use the promo code Baton Rouge. Again, use the promo code Baton Rouge when you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and you sign up there. DraftKings Sportsbook app live in Louisiana. Win with DraftKings. Download the app and use the code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP.
Welcome back to After Further Review. Jacques Doucet from WAFB, Channel 9, filling in for the great Matt Moscona. Matt is fine. I've gotten a couple text messages. Where's Matt? I mean, he's been out for a bit, right? This isn't like it happened today. So everything's fine. Matthew Musso is here. Paul O'Neill is here. We're having a good time. We appreciate Sean Woods from Southern, the head basketball coach, joining us. Kim Mulkey as well. Bill Franques on the other side to talk LSU baseball.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. They will always find a way to get you the best possible price for the best possible tires on the road. That's what they do at Shawbills. And when they get you in by selling you the best tires at the cheapest price possible, they're going to treat you like family, and they're going to treat you so good you're going to keep coming back year after year after year every time you need anything for your vehicle. Tires rotated, oil changed, check engine light on, brakes squeaking, whatever's wrong with your vehicle, bring it to Shawbills. Let them give it the once-over, and you can always schedule online, so it's convenient. ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shop tires online at ShawBillsTire.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Will it be a return to the Packers, a request for a trade, or retirement for Aaron Rodgers? He doesn't know yet. Told the Pat McAfee show today he's still making up his mind about his future. Green Bay also has to deal with soon-to-be free agent receiver Davante Adams. He can't allow his future to be connected to Rodgers, believes our Bart Scott.
This dude talks a lot, but when it comes to put up, he doesn't put up. He hasn't put up in over 11 years, and I'm not about to let this guy follow this guy around. This is why if I'm Davante Adams, do you really want to sign long-term there and year after year figure out this mess with this dude saying, I don't know, this could be the year? No, if I am Davante Adams, I am hauling
Part of Barton Hahn, the reference of 11 years ago for Rodgers' lone Super Bowl title. Browns receiver Jarvis Landry tweeted today he'd like to stay in Cleveland, but added he's confident he can still be a piece for another team in winning a championship. Landry struggled with injuries this past season. He had 570 yards receiving and 2 receiving touchdowns. He is not a free agent, but has no guaranteed money left on his current deal with the Browns.
Brought to you by Capital One Shopping. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Capital One Shopping. What's in your wallet? Savings and available coupons vary.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Welcome back to After Further Review. Substitute teacher is in. Jacques Doucet filling in for the great Matt Moscona. Had I think I killed 1 hour of the 3 without any disasters yet. Paul, is that true? Say we got through the first hour, no problems?
I think you nailed it.
All right. Well, we got 2 more to go. And enjoyed the first hour with Sean Woods, the head basketball coach of the Southern Jags, the great Kim Mulkey, joining us as well. And when it comes to sports information directors and guys who are on the same level as Kim Mulkey in their craft, I would say this guy certainly is. Bill Franques, sports information director for LSU baseball, the voice of God, as we endearingly call him. Bill, are you there?
Hey, Jacques. Yeah, thank you very much. That's quite an introduction to be mentioned, and even in the same sentence with Kim Mulkey is a great honor. So,
well, yeah, go ahead.
It's funny. It's funny. I was used to dealing with her strictly as the player, a parent of a baseball player, and now it's really a lot of fun to have her as part of the LSU family, 100%. So yeah, it's been great to have her, and I'm so proud of everything that she and her team have accomplished.
Yeah, Bill, I sat down with Kramer Robertson after the basketball win against Florida on Sunday, and Kramer could almost be a women's basketball analyst. I mean, he broke down the team. He talked about the guards, and I don't know if my mom's ever had 3 guards like these guards, and he's talking about the program. It's a beautiful thing to see. Like, the older you get, you don't believe in sunshine and rainbows and all that stuff,
right.
and this was like, Kim Mulkey's never coming to LSU. Why would she leave Baylor? Why? Shut up, and it happened.
I was one of those people who thought the same thing. And I'd seen Kim, dozens of times in Baton Rouge and on the road with the baseball team all the years that Kramer played ball here. So I was very familiar with her, and she was always so uplifting, such a positive person, and I was just always so impressed with her and the way she represented Baylor. I just never dreamed that she would come home to LSU and finish her career, but she's done that. And, man, I think it's been just such a wonderful connection for everybody. And as you said, especially for the young ladies, I think of Kayla Pointer and Faustina Fua and Jalen Cherry, those seniors, those veteran players who haven't enjoyed this level of success. And for them to be able to play in front of the crowd they played in front of on Sunday against Florida, and for them to have an opportunity at a postseason berth, I think it's going to be very exciting. It's a testament to those young ladies and their tenacity and their willingness to stick with the LSU program, and I think they're being rewarded now.
Well, Bill, and it goes back to, okay, the transfer portal is it's a double-edged sword, right? So what if Kramer Robertson, after 2 years at LSU baseball, gets fed up? I'm not going to play here. He's never part of the 2017 team that plays for the national title, and
that's right.
Does all that. And I'm sorry.
He easily could have walked away. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, and he flat out told me the other day, I sucked. My first 2 years, I sucked.
And Coach Maneri let him know that too.
Yeah.
Maneri was on him. Maneri stayed on him the whole time, but at the time, naturally Kramer probably didn't appreciate it, but I know later he did, and now he does. He appreciates the way that Coach Maneri stayed on him, but also stayed with him as far as believing in him, and that paid off. And as Coach Mulkey said when she was first hired here at LSU, I credit Coach Maneri with turning my boy into a man. And I know Kramer greatly appreciates everything that Coach Maneri did for him and how he grew within the LSU baseball program.
And she got choked up saying that. That was like,
yeah, she really did.
That was the one time during a press conference she got choked up, was when she talked about Coach Maneri. And,
absolutely.
And I want to mention that real quick. I thought you guys did a beautiful job on Friday of him throwing out the first pitch.
Thank you.
Jay Johnson catching it. And it just so happened that the satellite gods, the TV gods, were looking down on us on Channel 9. We went live, and right when he walked out, we went live. So we were able to take it live. So that was really cool. And I think Coach Maneri, everything he's accomplished, I take a look at his resume, Bill. You would probably agree. Okay, the first year in 2007, I don't care if Skip Burtman, Demi Maneri, Tommy Lasorda, that team is not going to Omaha. Correct?
No chance. Not a chance.
Okay, and
that team was that team. Coach was not left with a whole lot of talent. I will say though that he did have that core of guys that were true freshmen.
That's correct.
And Blake Dean and Jared Mitchell and Sean Ochinko and Ryan Schimpf. So those guys who he did inherit, but they were only true freshmen. And I think Maneri did a fantastic job, and even having a winning season that year.
I hope Blair doesn't mind me sharing this, but the great Blair Barbier, you look up LSU baseball in the dictionary, and there's Blair Barbier. I think he said something like, through all our great accomplishments in LSU baseball history, the 6 national titles, all the trips to Omaha, the greatest accomplishment is the 2007 team winning 29 games. We had 0 pitching and 1 hitter, or vice versa. I forgot what he said.
Oh man, it was rough. To illustrate that, Charlie Furbush was a hard-throwing lefty who transferred to LSU prior to the 07 season. He ended up being a major league pitcher. I mean, he was extremely talented. He was 0-9 at LSU in SEC games.
Wow.
That's he just got no run support whatsoever. He pitched very well all year, and as I said, went on to the big league. But our number one ace pitcher did not win an SEC game that year. It shows you that the team was challenged as far as talent goes, but they did come up with some big series wins, and as Blair so eloquently said, it was quite an accomplishment for them to win 29 games. But as we know, Coach Maneri from there built a great foundation for the program, won a national title, challenged for the title on several occasions, and left the program in great shape now for Jay Johnson.
The great Bill Franques joining us, and I love baseball stories, and I love reflecting back on that kind of stuff. I heard that his first day of practice in 2007, he told the team to take a lap around Alec Box, and 3 of the guys passed out and started puking.
Yeah.
This is the most out-of-shape group of guys I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. He was, he had a long way to go with that club. But like I said, fortunately, he had that core group of young guys, and he brought in some, and there were a couple of guys who were leaders on the team, like Michael Hollander was a veteran who was instrumental in LSU getting to Omaha the next year. Remember, in 2008, LSU was back in Omaha in Coach Maneri's second year. And then he had Jared Bradford, who was another junior college pitcher who was so instrumental in LSU's early success under Coach Maneri. So, he was the next year in 2008, Coach Maneri and Terry Rooney, who was the recruiting coordinator at the time, signed the number one recruiting class in the country. That featured guys like DJ LeMahieu and Micah Gibbs and some other Anthony Renato and all
Matt
those
Clark.
guys, of course. Matt Clark was in that class, and all those guys, of course, brought LSU back to Omaha in 2008, and then, of course, were instrumental in the Tigers winning it all in 2009.
Yeah. I remember doing a live shot with Coach Maneri. I think you guys were playing Southern in an early non-conference midweek game in 2008. And I guess I was just now starting to learn the team or whatever. And Coach Maneri said, "What do you think about the group? We're looking out from that old down the third base line. What was that little like wooden tree house that we shot?"
Tiger Terrace.
Tiger Terrace.
Tiger Terrace.
Yeah, right. And he said, "What do you think of the team?" I said, I guess it looked pretty good. And he goes, "There's no comparison." That's what he said. And yeah, this freckle-faced redheaded guy named DJ LeMahieu, and so like, who were these guys? And then we certainly knew it all came together. I just want to say, I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but 2008, and all the years and stuff and different teams I've covered. I had so much fun covering that team, the 23-game winning streak through the heart of the SEC schedule, the SEC tournament. The first game of the SEC tournament, you guys are dead in the water, losing 4-0.
Right.
And somehow came back. And Coach Maneri is a computer. He can recall every moment from the game. We had first and third, nobody out. We hit we hit a bleeder down the left field line. DJ LeMahieu scores from first and all that. But that was a lot of fun. And you guys closed out the box so royally against UC Irvine that year.
Yeah, it's still to this day, in all my years of doing this, which is now beyond 30 years at the old box and of course at the current stadium. That day, the final day at the old Alec Box Stadium, there were 8,173 people in the stands for Game 3 of the Super Regional against UC Irvine. By far the loudest baseball game I've ever been to, even now that we have a bigger capacity in the new box. I mean, it was unbelievable. The noise was just incredible. I almost felt sorry for the UC Irvine players, especially their pitchers. Their pitchers are on the mound. I mean, the crowd, you remember, Jacques, at the old Alex Box, the crowd was just right on top of the field. It was just such an intimidating environment. And that day, it was the perfect way to close out that 70-year-old stadium and move into the new place where we are now.
The great Bill Franques joining us. And I remember, Bill, that night, the third game of the series, it was on a Monday night. And I think it was a 6 o'clock start. And the station said, "We need you live at the game." I said, "Well, the game starts at 6. I can't be inside the stadium because ESPN owns the world, and I can't stand in there." So, well, no, you got to stand outside. Okay, so I'm standing outside, and I hear this huge roar over my shoulder. Then like 30 seconds a minute, another huge roar over my shoulder. What is going on? So LSU hits 3 straight home runs in the first inning against UC Irvine that night.
Exactly. And Matt Clark, Blake Dean, and Micah Gibbs, back-to-back home runs. And that really started the onslaught. It ended up being a final score of 21-7. And, that was just a phenomenal night and a phenomenal, really, final month of that season. LSU was kind of mired near the bottom of the SEC standings. As you mentioned, then went on a 23-game winning streak and ended up in Omaha and really laid the foundation for next year to win it all with the series finals win over Texas.
The new box, and I say the new box, Bill, it's 13 years old now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 2009 it opened, and I remember an interview with Chris Guillotte when they were closing the old box, and there were so many fans that were like, "We don't want to see the old box go. We don't want to let go of this." And Chris Guillotte said, "It's kind of like living with my parents. I can't live at home forever. I got to move out. We got to progress." But as we look back, we always say, the music of the past was so much better than the music of today, or whatever we say. But the noise concentration in the old box, it was so concentrated and it was so hot for those super regionals and regionals. These teams would come in from out of town and they would just melt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My gosh. I think, of course, that UC Irvine team we talked about, but I go back into the early 90s when USC, the Trojans, had some unbelievably talented teams back in 1990 and 1994. One year, they featured Brett Boone. The next time they came in, they featured his younger brother, Aaron Boone, who, of course, went on to become the Yankees manager. And the LSU won those regionals over those USC teams. And you're right, the crowds and the heat and the humidity and everything was just so relentless that you just had a great feeling that LSU would eventually prevail, and they did. But yeah, that place was something special. But it was time. It was time to take it to the next level, not only for our fans but also for our players. And what the players have now, as far as amenities and training rooms and weight rooms and nutrition opportunities. It's just on a whole nother level, and that's what we have to compete, especially now in the SEC.
All the sports at LSU are great to cover. LSU football, we know, is the king. I often joke that sports is supposed to be about recreation and fun, but LSU football is a matter of life and death, and that's kind of the way it's treated. And you know, if you want to interview a guy, well, things are getting looser now, but you know, you got to go through this and that, and it's so serious all the time, and blah blah. And I always feel like there is no stronger human connection between the fan and the player than LSU baseball. You know, for example, LSU plays Florida in football on a Friday night. The Florida Gators are not going to be in the parking lot eating barbecue with the LSU fans, right?
That's right.
You know, and so over the years, you see these beautiful things where these teams come in from out of town. They don't know they know about Alec Box. They know about the legendary status, and they play a game. And then afterwards, hey guys, come over here. Have some of this. Have some crawfish. Have some this and that. And like, you know, I think in 2008, I had the guys, they grabbed the Channel 9 microphone and they sang that Kenny Rogers song, When You Put Your Heart in It and stuff. Those are the things, you know, the pie in the face, those are the human elements in baseball that we don't get in other sports.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the pace of baseball, the culture of baseball, just the way a game is played. There's so many games. I think it just lends itself to a more casual, comfortable, less intense atmosphere. Because I mean, there's just so much emphasis placed in football on those 12 weekends where you have to win. In baseball, there's not quite the sense of urgency. I think that maybe contributes to the essence or the environment that you just described. And also, a lot of it goes back to Skip Burtman as far as media relations, Jacques. I believe had you started at Channel 9 when Skip was still the head coach?
I started in March of 2001, so it was his final. Okay. It was his final run. Yeah. But
you know, back in the late 80s and 90s when I first started, Skip really felt it was important for his program to be exposed to the media, so that media-friendly atmosphere that we still have now with baseball really started with Skip. I mean, it's more structured now than it used to be as far as interviews, as you know. But back in the day, Skip used to just tell the media, come over to practice anytime.
Yeah.
And like a writer, the Advocate sports writer or the Channel 9 reporter could just walk into practice anytime, and Skip would stop practice and say, Lyle Mutzon, go talk to Channel 9, just in the middle of practice. Because he wanted that exposure for his program. So, and the same applied to LSU as far as being active in the community. Skip always insisted that the players sign the autographs and stay after the games and go to the booster club meetings and talk to the people and talk to the fans. And I think all of that really helped to cement that connection that fans have with LSU baseball right now.
One of my favorite stories, Bill, Smoke Lavelle, the great Smoke Lavelle.
Yes.
2 College World Series appearances, a Super Regional in his 5 years at LSU. A lot of places, they would build a statue for you and name a stadium after you for doing that.
You're right. Yeah.
Knows more baseball, forgot more baseball than we all know. One day I go out to practice and Smoke goes, hey, Jacques, stay as long as you want. We're not going to run a double reverse on the opening kickoff, okay?
Yeah. Smoke is the best.
And that's the whole deal. You know, football is so secretive and it's all serious and
exactly. That was definitely, Skip always said. I heard him say many times. Of course, Skip wanted to win more than anybody. I mean, everyone knows that. Everyone knows how competitive he was, and the drive that he had to build the program is what made all this happen. But even he would say sometimes, guys, it's just a baseball game. Let's keep it in perspective.
Right.
So that I think most people are able to do that. At the same time, LSU baseball has a standard of excellence and a certain standard of performance, and I think the fans and everyone who supports the program expect that. And I think Coach Maneri maintained that level of excellence, and I think Coach Johnson is going to do the same thing.
The great Bill Franques joining us. Bill, one quick thing, a story. There's a famous Channel 9 story before I got there.
Okay.
There was an intern at Channel 9 in 1997. That's when you started 19-0, I believe.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So LSU starts 19-0, and they finally lose the game. So the intern is sent out that day to the old box to talk to Skip Burtman, media availability.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I think I know where this is going.
So the intern gets out there and says something like, "Well, Coach, your undefeated season has come to an end. I know it's got to be rough for you after losing that game." And Skip doesn't even blink. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I was devastated. Oh, I couldn't sleep last night. Oh, what am I going to do with my life?" And it was like, hey, kid, it's a baseball game. It's not a football game. That's a Monday question. So
yeah. Skip, he never missed an opportunity to educate if he could educate the media and the fans, because he felt, and rightly so, that when he got here in 1984, this was a football town. People didn't really understand the game of baseball that well. So he did what he could to try to educate everybody, both media and fans alike, and help them become more knowledgeable. And I think, we're talking 35 years later or so, I think our fans are very knowledgeable about baseball and have come a long way, as has the media. The media also very knowledgeable as well.
I apologize to the listeners for talking so much about the past, but I love old stories and history. We will talk about the present eventually here. Bill, are you on the bus right now? Where are you? Are you?
No, actually, I'm in my vehicle. I'm not. The team actually is on the bus. The team has left Alex Box Stadium. Jacques, they're heading to Ruston today. Coach Jay wanted to get the team into Ruston tonight, so they practiced at the box here, and they just left, I'd say, about 20 minutes ago to head over to Ruston tonight. And so they'll work out at J.C. Love Field, the Louisiana Tech Stadium, in the morning, get a brief workout in, and then come back ready for a 6 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night. So that's something a little different. Even for these long in-state road trips, the team has always just driven up the day of the game.
Yeah.
But Coach Johnson wants to get them in town tonight and have them fully rested and ready to go, because he realizes, I know it's game 4 of the season, but he does know this is a big game for LSU. It's against a ranked team. It's on the road, so it's an opportunity to make a big RPI statement early in the year. If LSU can get a win at Louisiana Tech, that's certainly going to boost the RPI later in the year. So, and he also knows how good Louisiana Tech is. This team was 42-20 last year. Played host to a regional. They were beaten in the regional by North Carolina State. Of course, went on to Omaha. But Louisiana Tech has a lot of key pieces back from last year's team, so it's going to be a huge challenge tomorrow night.
Yeah, and Bill, I remember, LSU playing these in-state games on the road, which every time they go on the road in-state, that team's going to have a record crowd, and it's going to be a big-time event and whatnot. But Louisiana Tech, LSU didn't play them for like 20 years. Huh? They fill off the schedule.
Yeah, it's odd, Jacques. I don't recall exactly what happened. Tomorrow night will be the first time that LSU has played in Ruston since 1997. We're talking about 25 years since we played up there. The last time LSU played there, Brandon Larson was the star of the team, of course, the slugging shortstop. I remember Brandon hit 3 home runs in the game, and LSU defeated Louisiana Tech 13-1. Then, Louisiana Tech would come to the box back at that time on a regular basis. But I forgot exactly what happened. I don't know if it involved Skip had an issue with someone at Louisiana Tech, maybe with a coach or an administrator. And so there was a long hiatus where we didn't play Tech at all in baseball. And then when Coach Maneri was hired, I think maybe by that time the administrations had changed at both schools, obviously. And so I believe he reached out and they forged an agreement where we would resume the series. And Louisiana Tech started coming back to the box. And then, of course, Coach Maneri scheduled the game in Ruston, which will take place tomorrow night. And that was always, of course, as you know, with Skip and with Smoke and with Paul, they've always felt an obligation to travel to the different in-state schools and expose LSU baseball to fans and potential recruits around the state. And that's how this game came about. And I'm glad that LSU and Louisiana Tech have repaired whatever the issue was. But again, my memory is that it was something that occurred, back, we're talking 20 years ago, between administrators and coaches that aren't even at the respective schools anymore.
Well, there you go. Paul Maneri, the king of the olive branch. He also started the Ragin' Cajun rivalry back up.
He did.
So,
now, we know why. We have a clear idea of what happened between LSU and UL Lafayette. But that was the issue, of course, in the 02 regional at the box. There was some let's just say, some unkind words exchanged.
A bat flew. Some people were ejected. I mean, and seriously, some people that are no longer with us. Tony Robichaux and Wally Pontiff, right in the middle of all that. And
exactly. But, so that happened in 02, and so there was a kind of 5 or 6 year hiatus in that series. But you're right, Coach Maneri, when he came to LSU, he reached out to Coach Robichaux, and they worked out a deal. And then we ended up playing the Cajuns on a yearly basis. And over the last few years that we played, the last few years that that Zephyr Field existed as a baseball park, that was the annual game for the Wally Pontiff Classic between LSU and UL Lafayette, which is a great event.
Oh, man.
So, in fact, and that leads me to this year, Jacques. This will be the final Wally Pontiff Junior Classic. Of course, Zephyr Field no longer exists, so we're going to play the game at the box this year, and, of course, the opponent will be the Cajuns. So that's coming up in April, and we'll definitely look forward to that.
I want to talk to you about a few more things. We need to sneak a commercial break in, if that's okay with you, Bill. And I want to talk more about this current team and the Dylan Cruzes and Jacob Berries of the world, and get ready for some LSU baseball. We'll be having Mike Scarborough by the end of the hour to talk some LSU football. Brian Kelly's going to have a press conference tomorrow and Thursday. Stay right there. Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona.
AFR.
Love telling you about River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001. 752-0001. Love telling you about River City's 1 hour air because I love telling you about great companies that treat people right. That's River City's 1 hour air. They make you feel valued, and they make you feel comfortable. When you schedule service with River City's 1 hour air, when technicians come into the house, you get a phone call, an email, and a text message alerting you the technician's on the way. You get a text message with a picture, a photo, name, and reviews of that technician who's coming to your house. They take the time to explain everything. They're very thorough. They have equipment on the truck because they're so big on continuing education. They have equipment on the truck other companies don't even own, never even heard of. River City's 1 hour air. Nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. They'll never charge you extra. River City's 1 hour air. Got a problem with your home central AC? Call River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001.
Are you looking for a new vehicle? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, where you'll never pay over MSRP. There's no markups and no gains. You can reserve yours today. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After Further Review with Matt Moscona. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. gmfsmortgage.com. So easy, y'all. It is so easy to go through this process. Erica and I did it last year, right around this time. And I told you then a year ago, hey, these historically low interest rates aren't going to last forever. Well, here we are a year later. They're still hanging around. It is so worth it. The Fed is not going to keep interest rates at these levels forever. This is a moment in time. Take advantage of it. We bought our home in 2016. So in a matter of 4 years, it was like 4 years and a couple months, we were able to get our rate from high threes into the mid twos. Shaved 5 years off the life of our mortgage, lowered our monthly payment by $400 a month. Change your life today. GMFSmortgage.com. Don't wait. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives.
Welcome back to After Further Review. Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona. We've had a great show so far. At least I have. I've enjoyed it. We visited with Sean Woods, the head basketball coach at Southern. The great Kim Mulkey visited with us as well. And right now we're visiting with the awesome Bill Franques. And Bill, I'm getting some feedback right now. People are enjoying the old story. So I'm just going to say one thing real quick about the old box. The great Charlie Hannegriff, I think, described it best. He said it was an animal refuge. We had cats. We had birds. We had some dogs in there as well. It was a unique place back in the day.
The best story I have regarding the wildlife or even domesticated animals in the box was it was the 03 Super Regional. LSU's playing Baylor, and I went up. It was game 3. It was on a Sunday, and I remember going up early to the old top of the old box where the press area was. I wouldn't even call it a press box. It was just a couple of counters located at the top of the grandstand, and we had an old wooden cabinet where we stored the scoreboard equipment and the PA equipment, the microphone, all that. So I opened it up. And I opened up the cabinet, and there at the bottom was a cat who had just delivered a litter of kittens, and they were there they were, right there on top of the PA equipment. And
wow!
Needless to say, we called the LSU vet school. They sent someone over and picked up the cat and the kittens and made sure they were safe. But yeah, it was quite a lot of wildlife running loose in the old box.
And of course, a possum. Well, that was a new box, possum.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly.
And real quick, just to give a scope of what LSU baseball means here compared to other places, and I think we all understand that. But I'll never forget in 2010, the year after the national championship team, that of Coach Mainieri's 2009 team. That team was kind of wobbling around a little bit, and then late in the year, gets hot, wins the SEC tournament. You guys get shipped out to Los Angeles to play in that regional, and this is before Uber and all that, and I didn't have a rental car, so I get in Los Angeles, and I tell the taxi driver I need to get to Jackie Robinson Stadium. He looks at me like I'm from Mars. I've never heard of that place. So I get a taxi, and I hope Coach Mainieri doesn't mind me telling this story. But so I get a taxi out to Jackie Robinson Stadium. There was a farmer's market going on over the left field wall, people selling fruits and vegetables. And it was almost like the college baseball was a interference to what these people were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing here with this baseball stuff, And and you guys, when you have a regional, fans can come watch the practices. And LSU typically would draw a few hundred fans to come watch them in these regional practices. UCLA, the host team, didn't have a single fan in the stands while they were practicing. But anyway, I get there, and I see Coach Mainieri, and Coach asked me, did you make it to the park okay? I said, yeah. I said, the only problem was that a taxi ride cost me $65. He goes, well, it's too bad. You could have bought this park instead for that $65. So
sadly, as great as a man as Jackie Robinson was, and everything that he meant to the game of baseball and to race relations in our country, sadly, the facility did not live up to the man for whom it's named. Jackie Robinson Stadium was not a great baseball facility, and can't say we have too many fond memories of playing there. It was it was not on the SEC level. Let's say that.
They had palm trees. That was nice. But besides that, they had portalettes for the two teams. There were no locker rooms. And you and the great Jim Hawthorne basically had a picnic table to call the games. You were not. You were out in the open.
Exactly. We were. As I recall, there was a little tent outside, and we were just kind of hanging out at the top of the. I don't know if you even call it a grandstand, at the top of the seating area. And I remember it being really cold. I wasn't prepared for how cold it was in Los Angeles in early June at nighttime. And the other thing, my other vivid memory is seeing my brush with greatness. My one celebrity I saw on the trip was game show host Roger Lodge of Love Connection fame. Roger Lodge was there because his son was on the UCLA team. So I do. That's about the best memory I have.
Yeah.
Regional.
Yeah, the blind date guy, right? Roger
Yeah,
Lodge.
blind date. That's exactly.
Well, let's transition into the present real quick, and the great Bill Franques joins us now. Bill, I was out there Friday. Blake Money was dealing, pitched great. I don't know if anyone would have predicted at the end of last year Blake Money, who I believe was sent home. He was sent home before the postseason would be your Friday night starter. Outstanding job by him. And then LSU does all the local media. Great favor. It scores lots of runs, lots of real early, so everyone gets their highlights back early. But seriously, a great – I mean, look, we know that LSU and Maine aren't going to meet in a super regional or anything, but all you can do is beat the guys in front of you, and LSU really dominated those three games.
Absolutely. And, man, Jacques, I was so happy for Blake Money. As you said, last year, you know, when you go into the postseason for the NCAA tournament, you can only take 27 players. And Blake did not make that 27-man cut when we went up to Oregon for the regional. I remember this being so sad for him because you know how on that Monday when the NCAA tournament bids are announced, and of course we didn't even know if we were going to get in or not. Yeah. And so we were in the team meeting room watching the ESPN broadcast on the screen, literally having no idea if we're even in. And then LSU, if I remember right, was either the last or the second to last team announced in the tournament. It says we're going to Eugene, Oregon, and the room just exploded. The players were so excited. I remember Blake, of course, he's such a big guy, especially at that time.
Yeah.
I remember him being like, he was the first one to jump up, and he was so excited and just so thrilled. I'm thinking, man, this is great. These guys can't wait to get out and play. And the image of Blake celebrating stood out in my mind when I heard maybe an hour or so later that he wasn't going to go on the trip. And I remember feeling so devastated for the young man because I know how much it meant to him. And so for him to overcome that disappointment, to completely transform his body and to be in a much better physical and mental condition and perform the way he did on Friday night, and I think it's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to thrive all year long.
I love Devin Fontenot and Mikhail Hilliard. I love having those veteran guys back. Certainly Mikhail has gone through a lot in the offseason, losing his father and some of the other things, and I think it's really great that he's back with his teammates. I think he needs them and they need him, and that's a great thing there. And then the new additions, everyone, of course, says that Jacob Berry looks just like Drew Brees. Looks just like him. Yeah. And I listen to these guys talk these days, Bill. I remember when I was 18 years old and I couldn't, walk without tripping over my own feet. These guys get out there. Jacob Berry, he emanates the maturity of like a 35-year-old when he talks.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. He does remind you a lot of Drew Brees physically and the way he carries himself. And he's only a college sophomore. It's amazing, but he does come across as being a much older, more mature young man. And I've been very impressed by him, by his demeanor, and of course, naturally, by his baseball ability. He got off to a little bit of a rough start this past weekend, but man, he really erupted on Saturday. Team blast. I believe this is the first home run he hit was literally almost out of the stadium. I believe it hit the top of the diamond deck fencing in right field. So I think he's a guy that's just going to be a real force throughout this season. And I know how excited he was for his first weekend as an LSU Tiger. And really, as Coach Jay pointed out today, Jacques, we talk about, the new guys like Jacob Berry and the other transfers from Arizona and Eric Raiselman and guys who were on campus for the first time this year about how they adjusted to this environment. But really, it's really a new environment for almost everybody on the team because naturally in 2020, we had 17 games and we were done. And then last year we played 80% of the season in front of a half full stadium.
Yeah.
So I think this experience was not only brand new for Barry and Riley Cooper and Eric Raiselman and the freshmen. It was also really new for even guys like Cade Doty and Alex Milazzo and Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan. So I think they were all very excited to feel that electricity and to feel the enthusiasm of the fans once again.
One more thing here with the great Bill Franques, and certainly we're just now scratching the surface to start the year. I apologize. I told a lot of old stories with Bill, but I think a lot of people enjoyed them. LSU baseball has just got that charm to it. We got plenty of time as the year progresses to talk about Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan and all the great guys on this team. And I really like Raiselman too. He's a guy. He's his eyes are wide, and his family. He's from California, lived in California his whole life. He comes to LSU, and he said, "This is the best place I've ever been." I never want to leave.
Eric Raiselman, he's a very interesting young man, and I know we'll learn more about him as the year goes on. But I'll give you a couple of interesting tips about him. Number one, he plays the piano.
No.
Apparently, he's an excellent piano player. Number two, he speaks Russian.
No way.
He speaks Russian because his mother is actually a native of Ukraine. His mother immigrated from Ukraine to the U.S. So that's a couple of interesting notes about Eric Raiselman, along with the fact that he can throw a fastball about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I definitely look forward to learning more about Eric during this year.
Yeah. That's like when Dale Brown said, Shaquille O'Neal is a great person, and that's what I liked about him the most. Well, he's 7 feet tall, and he swats shots, and all that other stuff helps out.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, but and finally, Jay Johnson. He's been he's very friendly. He is not a shouter and a screamer. The players tell me he's never blown up at them, but they're kind of also there can be that if somebody just tells you you weren't very good today, or you need to improve. That can cut you like a knife too. But
exactly.
Just what's it like to work with him so far?
Yeah, I'd say Jay. He just has that, like you said, he's not demonstrative or overly emotional, but he just has a presence about him, and he commands respect. You can see that within the framework of the team, and also just in the way he deals with us as far as the athletic staff and the media. I've been very impressed with the way he seems to be a first-class individual, has great respect for the history of LSU baseball. I mean, I think he endeared himself to a lot of people right at the beginning when he paid tribute to Coach Burtman and to Coach Maneri and all the great players who have been here and created so much history here. And the fact that he has so much respect for that and honors that, I think means a lot to people here. And from that point on, I think people really have enjoyed the progress that he's made with the program. And, of course, it doesn't hurt when you score 51 runs in your first weekend. And he does bring a lot of, obviously, known for his offensive prowess at Arizona. And I think he's going to continue that here. And I think it's going to be balanced with pitching with Jason Kelly, our pitching coach. He's doing a great job. And I think LSU has an opportunity to be very prominent toward the end of the year on a nationwide basis.
Bill, you're the best. You're irreplaceable. I hope everyone at LSU knows that. Enjoy Ruston.
Appreciate that.
Can I say that?
Thank you, Jacques.
Enjoy Ruston.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a sold-out crowd. Now, Louisiana Tech, they've really dialed up their athletics in
absolutely, and of course, as you know, their campus and in particular the baseball stadium was severely damaged a couple of years ago by a tornado. But the stadium has been rebuilt, and the program's in great shape. Lane Burroughs, their head coach, has done a fantastic job. So I'm looking forward to going up there and seeing the facility and being on the campus.
Good deal. All right. Well, great visiting with you, Bill. Look forward to seeing you a lot. 3 games down, 53 to go, regular season. So
absolutely. Thanks, Jacques. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Bill Franques, a treasure, really is. I mean, do you know of anybody that can just spit out information like that? I mean, he goes 1997. That's a long time ago, and then he goes into the stats of what Brandon Larson did and all that, and what happened that day when LSU played Louisiana Tech last in Ruston. We'll take a commercial break. I'm Jacques Doucet. This is AFR.
AFR.
The official supermarket of LSU Athletics is Rouse's. You can find the Rouse's nearest you at rouses.com. Maybe it's you're looking to indulge here at the end of carnival season. King Cakes over at Rouse's. And by the way, I want to remind you, I know I've been telling you, but they have stopped now shipping King Cakes. So you're out of luck. And it's basically due to supply issues. But you can go into a Rouse's and buy a Rouse's King Cake. Few are better. So find a Rouse's location near you. If you need dinner plans tonight, you can always pop into a Rouse's. They got great grab-and-go options for the whole family. You can go into the Chop House as well. If it's ribs or brisket or chicken or whatever it is that you want to eat to feed the whole family, they've got that. They got fresh-made sushi every single day. And if you want to get fish and vegetables, grab-and-go meals are awesome, and anything you need to shop for to watch the game. Make sure Rouse's is part of your plans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back to After Further Review. Jacques Doucet from Channel 9 filling in for Matt Moscona today with the great Matt Musso and WAFB intern Hall of Famer Paul O'Neill is also with us today, also a participant in the Red Rock and Blue celebrity softball game at one point. And great to be with you guys today. I just want to tease something that we've got coming up tomorrow night on Channel 9 at 6 o'clock tomorrow in the B block of the show. We're going to have a Black History Month feature on Brad Davis, LSU's offensive line coach, who of course, was LSU's interim head coach for the Texas Bowl against Kansas State. No matter how it shakes out, he will go on record as the first head coach of color in LSU football history. We sat down with him at his home last week and with his parents as well, and it's a great story about a guy who went to Bel Air High School, played on a winless team his senior year, goes to Oklahoma, wins a national championship as a player, and really is a nomad for 20 years coaching away from Baton Rouge, all sorts of places that perhaps you've never heard of, and finally was able to get that call during the summer of 2021 when James Clegg was very unceremoniously pushed out in June to, hey, you want to come back home and be the head coach, the offensive line coach, excuse me, and then take over that gig, knowing perhaps that the head coach was on the hot seat. And, you know, if he gets fired, the chances of an assistant coach being retained by the next coach are not good. Look at Brad Davis. He's the only one that has been retained. But to see all the coaches who were not retained, Blake Baker said, I gave him a bear hug when I found out he was going to be on the next staff. The Andre Carters, the Durante Jones, all these guys I was able to interview after the fact, after they worked at LSU. Greg McMahon, they all love Brad Davis. And I think you will really see a new side of him, and you'll get to see why so many people love Brad Davis. And you should be happy that he's back on the LSU staff next year. And he's talking about, look, Alabama, Georgia, those guys in the trenches, they're nasty. We've got to get to that point, and I want to build the best offensive line in the country, and I want to get to that standard. And I think, you know, the offensive line obviously was kind of a collective whipping boy around here early in the year, and throughout the year, these guys can't block, they stink. And then before the end of the year, they did get better, and Tyreen Davis-Price set a single-game rushing record against Florida. So they were able to get better, and I think as he brings in his recruits, those 4 signees out of high school and those 2 transfers, and working alongside Brian Kelly, they will continue to progress moving forward. But that piece on Brad Davis, WAFB tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, 6 o'clock on what is today? I'm totally lost track of days. Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah, thank you. This time of year, Moose, when do I have to take a commercial, by the way?
Now.
Okay, well, let's take a commercial break. We've got more coming up. I'm Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona.
AFR.
If you are even thinking about selling your home, I'm going to give you a phone number. I'm going to give you the only phone number that you will need. I'm going to give you Darren James's phone number. It's Darren's cell. Like, you can call this number, you can text this number, and you are literally calling or texting the phone number that Darren James has in his pocket or on his hip. I'm talking about the realtor that sells more homes than anybody. A guy on the Wall Street Journal is listed the top 1,000 realtors in America based on the number of homes sold. You ready? 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com. Of course, you can go to the website, agent225.com. If you need to sell your home, you need to maximize your return on the home, you want a hassle-free, pleasant experience, you need Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
6G.
Network.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. Ford is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers doesn't know yet whether he wants to return to the Packers in the 2022 season, ask for a trade or retire. He told the Pat McAfee Show today he's still undecided about his future. He said after this season he tried to make a decision about his plans for next season in relatively short order. It's up to you now, Cleveland Browns. That's the message receiver Jarvis Landry sent via social media. Tweeted today he'd like to stay in Cleveland, but added he's confident he can still be a piece for another team in winning a championship. Landry's clearly keeping his options open, according to ESPN's Ryan Clark.
I believe that means he wants a long-term deal, and if they don't want to give him that deal, he's willing to go elsewhere, and he believes that he can help a team win. Jarvis Landry is a straight shooter. Jarvis Landry also watched his best friend move on and have huge success. So he's saying he's willing to stay, but if he has to go, he believes in himself and believes he could be a contributor.
That friend of Landry's would be Odell Beckham Jr., who won a Super Bowl with the Rams following his November release from Cleveland. Landry is not a free agent, but he has no guaranteed money left on his current deal.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Welcome back to AFR. Who sings this? The local band did this, right? Local artist? Toby?
Yeah, Toby Topley.
Toby Topley, yeah. There you go. Toby's got a voice on him. Nice little jam.
Good pipes.
Rest in peace, Chris Cornell before that. Spoon Man. Great Soundgarden. And we've had a great time so far. Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona. In the first hour, Sean Woods, head basketball coach at Southern University, joined us for about half an hour. We visited with Kim Mulkey for about 15, 20 minutes. Bill Franques. I mean, time just flies by with Bill Franques, LSU Sports Information Director, the voice of Elliott Box Stadium. He does like 10 jobs over there, and he's a computer in terms of spitting out information and the history of LSU baseball, and there's no one better than that guy. Which leads to a serious letdown leading into this next guest from New Orleans, Louisiana, working at WDSU, technically the sports director there, where somehow Sharif Ishak is still employed also. Fletcher Mackel. Fletcher, are you there?
I am here, Jacques. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction.
Seriously, an award-winning sportscaster there, and a guy who truly is New Orleans through and through. And Fletcher, you've been there at that station over 20 years, right?
20 years this summer, and feel free to give people our history. You and I worked together in Alexandria back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and I recall when you got the job at WAFB.
Yeah.
And yes, and so it's amazing how time flies that you've now been at AFB now, what, 21 going on 21 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll have been here at DSU this summer. It'll be 20 years for me.
Fletcher also talked me into going into the worst gentleman's establishment I've ever been to in Alexandria, Louisiana. Just a funny tidbit there. The worst, it was not good. The ladies were not attractive. But anyway, that's an old story for another day on a bored Wednesday night in Sinloa, Louisiana. I
don't know if I need to give any color commentary to the fact that Central Louisiana is a very conservative place. So the establishment that you are speaking of needed to be like outside of parish lines in like a double wide trailer. And I'm just going to leave it at that because you're right. It was not one of my finer decisions. You know, sometimes I think we look back at decisions we make in our 20s and think, you know, I'm glad nothing bad happened to me when I was in my 20s. And so
I don't want to talk about it too much longer.
That's true. So thank you for being a solid moral compass and good person, you know, for the time that I was able to share with you.
Well, I don't want to, you know, I go to church. I'm a God-fearing man. I try to live morally straight. But I'm just saying real quick, a spot in Dallas does not compare to a spot in Alexandria. That's all I'm going to say on that number. But what was the name of that place, by the way? It's awful.
You know what? I feel like we should just stop talking.
Okay.
We're coming out ahead right now before anybody says anything too incriminating or bad or that's going to get somebody in trouble. So I actually don't remember the name, but I'm glad I don't.
Yeah. Do you want to buy me a drink? No. Okay. So what's going on with Zion Williamson in New Orleans?
Let me say this. Yeah. Speaking of like we talked about an awful establishment that we went to, that's a perfect segue into an awful situation because look, it's the beginning of the end here. And I will go on record right now, and I have not said this until this week. I don't think Zion Williamson ever wears a New Orleans Pelicans uniform again. I think that he will be unable to play this year because of his foot injury that may require another surgery. And I think this summer he will be traded because his relationship with the organization has become so fractured. And while the organization definitely made bad decisions his first 2 years, I mean, look, Stan Van Gundy was a disaster. Eric Bledsoe as a player was a disaster. They finally got it right in year 3. 3 strikes and you're out. Willie Green's the right coach. C.J. McCollum is an awesome veteran player. Jonas Valanciunas is a really good big man. Herb Jones is a good rookie. They've got a lot of positivity here now, but Zion has left the team to rehab on his own, doesn't want to be here, hasn't spoken to C.J. McCollum, is disconnected, and I am told doesn't acknowledge people in the organization. It basically, common sense tells you he wants out of here. And while his worth isn't as high as it should be because of his injury history, I do think this summer you will see a team in the wild and crazy NBA. They'll throw a star player into the trade mix, and Zion will probably be shipped someplace else.
JJ Redick, you shared something that he said today, of course, a former New Orleans player there, shut down by Garrett Temple in the Sweet 16 years ago. But he said that, when C.J. McCollum was traded to New Orleans, Zion didn't text him or welcome him or nothing or anything, and it's been remote silence from Zion. How much money is he collecting this year? What is his salary?
Zion makes $10 million. Zion makes $10 million. He's still on his rookie deal. So his rookie deal is 4 years, and it was about $40 million fully guaranteed. He is eligible for an extension this summer. That would be between, I want to say, 175 and 190. So he could potentially cash in a big way. But I don't think the Pelicans are going to offer it to him because of, one, his injury history, and two, the fact that he doesn't want to be here. They're not just going to give, and you got to realize in the NBA, that's why the NBA, look, the NFL, I always say this, what makes the NFL great is the money is not guaranteed. And the players don't love that, but it keeps the league fair and balanced. You have everybody uses the term salary cap casualty. Teams can get out of guys' bad contracts in the NFL. You go back to when Sean Payton took over the Saints. He flipped the roster. 37 of 53 new players. Aaron Brooks still had 2 years left on his deal, paying him $10 million a year. The guaranteed money was up. You can get out of it. In the NBA, you can't get out of money. If you give a guy a bad deal, somebody's paying that bad deal until the bitter end. So I can't see a team offering Zion a full max deal with his health situation. I think he's going to have to get healthy, play next year, and then potentially cash in 2023 once he shows he can stay healthy. But look, JJ Redick is right. Zion is the face of the franchise. And when you trade for C.J. McCollum, who's a really good player, C.J. McCollum is the president of the Players Association. That means the players vote and pick this guy as their leader. And Zion doesn't send him a text, welcome to New Orleans. Hey, I know I'm injured, but I can't wait to meet you and play with you. Nothing. 2 weeks. Not a phone call, not a text, nothing to the newest guy who is a really good player who averages 20 a game and who's been to 7 straight playoff appearances. Nothing. It just says a lot about how he feels about this team and being here.
Fletcher Mackel from WDSU in New Orleans joins us. What I was getting at when asking that, and people will say, well, would you give the money back or whatever? I have a moral problem with a guy collecting $10 million to do nothing, not even, correspond with the franchise he has literally found a way to eat up, pardon the pun, this entire year without doing anything. And he's going to collect $10 million. He should give some of that to charity or, do something. I realize it's guaranteed and blah, 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 and get your hands out of his pockets, but that just sucks to me that he's going to do that.
Yeah, it does. And look, it happens all the time in the NBA. It's one of the things I love covering the NBA. I always joke with people that I was not a basketball player. I'm a 5'10" guy who played baseball and golf. But some people find religion in their lives. I always joke that I started working here in the summer of 2002. That is when the NBA came back to New Orleans. So I have gone like hook, line, and sinker. And I love covering the NBA. I love talking the NBA. I love everything about it. But one of the things I hate about it that I think ruins their league is that the money is fully guaranteed. So guys can get paid obscene amounts of money for doing nothing, for demanding trades, for wanting to leave their market, for not playing. And at least in a sport like the NFL, that doesn't happen. The team can cut a player. Like, look, we're dealing with it right now with Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry's going to get cut because he had a bad season and he's not worth the boatload of money he's going to make. And he's probably going to have to take a 1-year prove-it deal to go prove it someplace else before he gets another payday. Look, my dad was a professional golfer. I like sports like golf. If you win and you play well, you make money. And if you don't make money. So while people may not, I go round and round with some of the analysts that we have here at WDSU, and I love Roman Harper and I love Lance Moore, but they don't like my take on that because they feel like players should get everything they can. I am all for a player getting everything he can as long as he is producing on the field or the court or the field of play, not a guy getting it because 5 years ago he was awesome and now he stinks. That's what I have a problem with.
What I feel like, Fletcher, is that history has repeated itself. Like, you and I go back to Baron Davis. I'll never forget, and I'm going to make a Star Wars reference for T-Bob Hebert. Baron Davis in New Orleans, go back to the Star Wars prequels. Remember Yoda's walking around his cane, can barely walk? That was him in New Orleans. He goes to Golden State. He's Yoda cutting flips, bouncing off the wall, twirling and spinning within a day. We've seen this over and over again. Chris Paul, I feel like he gave his heart and soul to New Orleans for those 7-8 years, whatever. Best team they've had, I think, was that team that won, 55 games and made
56, 07, 08.
And should have beaten San Antonio in the second round and kind of choked that away. But regardless, that was really exciting. I think they sold out 20 home games or something that year. And then, Anthony Davis wears the T-shirt. That's all, folks. The Bugs Bunny, T-shirt. His final game. We've seen it over and over again. I mean, we're running out of time, but we've seen it over and over again with the superstar playing for the New Orleans professional basketball team who doesn't want to be there for whatever reason.
Yeah, and look, it's a problem with the NBA, and I just told you I love the NBA, but I love something, but I can also see issues with it that need to be fixed. And that's why the NFL is the king of kings. It's the greatest sport. It's America's pastime, even though I know people would say you're slighting baseball saying that. But this is why football is great and the NFL is great. And it's better than college football. It's better than everything because you have 32 cities, and the cities don't matter. Indianapolis has won championships. Pittsburgh's won championships. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Green Bay. Market size doesn't matter in the NFL. It's all about, can you build a good team? Can you find the right coaches and the right players? Whereas the NBA is all about star markets and star players and this player empowerment deal. Look, last year, Aaron Rodgers said, I don't want to play in Green Bay. I won't play in Green Bay. I won't be back in Green Bay. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers is back in Green Bay, won the MVP, and they went deep into the playoffs. In the basketball, that doesn't happen. Ben Simmons wants out of a team in Philadelphia. They finished one with a great coach in a great city with an MVP in Joel Embiid, and he just wants out, so he sits out 6 months and finally gets his way. It's just a massive problem with the NBA, player empowerment, and it hurts small markets like New Orleans and Memphis and Utah. It makes it far more difficult for them to have sustained success like you and I recall teams having. Utah had sustained success with Stockton and Malone. San Antonio had sustained success as recently as 10 years ago with Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. Those days are somewhat over in the NBA, and it's sad because the players dictate, star players dictate what happens in the NBA and where they want to go, whereas a league like the NFL, it's still all about league first, not player empowerment first. And that's just one of the things that sours people on the NBA, and I understand why.
Musso, can I take a quick commercial and then bring him back for a quick 7 on the Saints and then bring Scarborough? We're going to take a quick commercial break. We've got Fletcher Mackel from WDSU in New Orleans. I want to talk to him about the Saints real quick. We'll take a commercial break and be back.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Always a pleasure to tell you about our friends at the Williamson Eye Center. Check them out online at williamsoneye.com. They've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. on the Baton Rouge General campus. I mean, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy, you make that right. And then right there at the stop sign, the building on the right, the first 2 floors, that's the Williamson Eye Center, state-of-the-art dry eye center, and it's full service. Of course, they have their state-of-the-art surgery center there where you can have your LASIK or whatever surgical procedure you're having. But they have your standard annual eye exam as well at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn more at williamsoneye.com. The thing I tell you every day is take the advice that I was given and change your life. To give yourself the gift of sight is absolutely incredible. If you're someone like me who spent your life with contacts or glasses, there is a way to be done with it forever. WilliamsonEye.com. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson for that free consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
Welcome back to After Further Review. Jacques Doucet sitting in for Matt Moscona. I've killed 2 hours and 20 minutes without a disaster. That could change in the next couple minutes because Fletcher Mackel is my guest from WDSU in New Orleans. All right, we talked about Zion, Fletcher. The Saints moving on without Sean Payton. Dennis Allen slides over, takes over the head coaching spot, and lots of questions for this team heading into the off season, starting with who's going to play quarterback next year.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the only question going forward. Sure, they have free agents like Teron Armstead, like Marcus Williams. They have issues at wide receiver, but nothing is more pressing than figuring out the quarterback situation. And look, the purgatory they were in last year was borderline unwatchable. I get that Jameis won games, but they were still 29th in passing yards when Jameis was the quarterback and 31st in total offense. So let's not make it out to be as if Jameis was an MVP candidate before he got hurt. Taysom is what he is, this kind of grit and grind, college-style quarterback. Trevor Siemian was on the street for a reason and couldn't win a game as a starter, and then Ian Book was thrown to the Wolves as a rookie in that one game. I think they are working diligently to try to figure out the long-term solution for Dennis Allen. Of course, everybody's going to dream about Rodgers and Wilson, but if those guys can't come, what is the next tier? Is it Garoppolo? Is it re-signing Jameis? Is it Teddy Bridgewater? Is it Marcus Mariota? Do they try to draft somebody at 18? Do they trade for somebody like Baker Mayfield? I don't know what it is because there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, like the Steelers and the Bucs and the Commanders in Washington now. But it's going to be an interesting offseason for a lot of teams because a lot of the teams that need quarterbacks feel like the New Orleans Saints, that they are close, that they're on the cusp, and they just need that quarterback. But who's it going to be? And so to me, we could talk about a lot of other things, free agency, needs, but the biggest thing is figuring out who their quarterback is and kind of getting settled there.
Those 29 for 39 for 280 yards and 3 touchdown stat lines from Drew Brees in 2020 don't look so bad right now, do they?
For all the people who were dumping on Drew Brees, and look, I'll say this, I covered Drew Brees from the day he walked in here. He definitely wasn't the same Drew Brees, but you kind of missing that guy that you thought was washed, right? I mean, even quote-unquote washed Drew Brees still had the same as a top 10 offense because of the offense that he basically invented and created with Sean Payton and the ability to outsmart in nickel and dime defenses and understanding coverages and manipulating defenses. Sure, he couldn't get the ball down the field, which is tough.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he could still operate an offense at a pretty effective level and win games. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward because for some reason, people really love Jameis. I am not a big Jameis guy. I like the fact that he's matured as a man and become a better person, but I still don't know if he's the answer at quarterback going forward.
Yeah. Well, Drew was a jabber late in his career, and certainly that last game against Tampa in the playoffs, he was broken physically and whatnot. Although, if Jared Cooks hangs on to the ball, then we might have a different story moving forward. I'm not sure if the Saints would have gone to Green Bay and won the NFC Championship that year, but it would have been worth a try. And so moving forward with all that. One thing I did see, Fletcher, is the schedule next year. Everyone has known for a while that the Bengals were supposed to come to the Superdome to play the Saints, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of orange and black number 9 jerseys in the Dome. But there's been talk, I think I saw, that London may scoop up that game and take it out of the Dome.
So the Saints have confirmed to the local media, and then I went and covered the Super Bowl, and the NFL UK people have confirmed too. The Saints are playing in London. Now, there have been varying reports on that.
Yeah.
Jeff Duncan, who is one of my good friends and a really respected columnist, reported that it's going to be a division game, which they've only done 4 times in London, which would mean, Atlanta, Tampa, or Carolina. Then some of the other beat writers were saying it'll be an AFC opponent, but it's going to be either the Raiders or Baltimore, the 2 other AFC games the Saints will have here in the Dome. And then news popped last week where I heard it may be the Cincinnati Bengals because they scheduled these games in London in November, December, before the Bengals made their run to the Super Bowl. I will say this, even if they scheduled that game in December, somebody deserves kind of a slap across the wrist with the ruler for not realizing that Burrow returning to the Dome will be the first time since he led the Tigers to a national championship in that building. That should be a Monday night primetime game that ESPN should say, hey, we need to have that game because the last time he was here, it was historic and capping off the greatest season in college football history. If they put that game in London, I just think it's a massive failure on the NFL just not realizing a great storyline. Look, they're not going to do it just for that one storyline, but you think that they would realize the significance of it. And for the Saints, look, the Saints already sell out every game and have a waiting list for season tickets, but that would be the hottest ticket in years. Burrow and Jamar and coming back to play, the LSU people from around the state that usually watch the games on TV would be clamoring to get those tickets and see that game. So yeah. I hope that report is incorrect and that it's not the Bengals, but I've heard that that's a possibility it will be.
Yeah, well, like you said, the NFL is certainly very aware, typically, of storylines and all those different things, kind of like the NCAA tournament. They'll pair up teams sometimes where they know there's a history with a coach or a player or whatnot. It just seems like common sense that if you're going to take a game out of the Dome, make it like Carolina or Atlanta, a team you see every year. And, okay, we don't need to see the Falcons this year or the Panthers, but yeah, the team that's
or like the Ravens, a team like the Ravens you have no history with. You play the Ravens come to New Orleans once every 8. AFC teams come to New Orleans once every 8 years. It's like, who cares if the Ravens are played in London? Yeah. There's no ties, there's no history, there's no connection. Like, that's the game they should pick.
Yeah, and for what? You're giving a product. I mean, do people in London really care about the Bengals and the Saints? I know they're trying to expand their product and whatnot. I mean, you and I remember the days of that silly preseason game in Tokyo, Japan years back and stuff like that. But in Mexico City, and they're trying to make it a worldwide brand, which I think it already is. But yeah, that would be a bad move on their part if they did that.
And look, I get the NFL. The Burrow's a burgeoning star. The Bengals have a lot of young talent. I get the fact that wanting to put Cincinnati over there, but Cincinnati at New Orleans with all those ties, and again, what Burrow did in this state, in that building, and the fact that he won't be back again for 8 years. I mean, that's what to me kind of breaks my heart a little bit. You know, Burrow, what a great storyline to go back, just 3 years later. And if that game is moved to London, that means the Bengals won't play here again until 2030. And so who knows if he'll even be the quarterback of the Bengals then. So it would be sad to see that game move to London. I agree. Again, it's not official yet. What's official is the Saints are playing in London. What's unofficial is there are a lot of different reports out there. Some say Cincinnati, some say the Raiders, Baltimore, and others say a division game. We're going to find out here, in the next month or so, I would assume, when the schedule's released in March or April, and we'll have a better idea.
Fletcher Mackel knows his stuff backwards and forwards there in the Big Easy for WDSU, going all the way back to KALB in Alexandria, where he covered Pete Falcone, the head coach of the Louisiana college baseball team, and other great things there, and doing a great job in New Orleans. Fletcher, really appreciate you coming on, man, and we'll talk soon.
Jacques, thank you as always for having me. I appreciate this, and I wish we could spitball about the old stories forever and ever, and your blonde hair and your workouts at the gym and all sorts of fun stuff like that. I'm sorry it took a turn to crazy town at the beginning, but thank you for having me.
Well, I just felt like the first 2 hours were way too down the middle. I had to throw a big curveball here to start you off. So appreciate your time, man.
There you go. All right, thank you.
All right, Fletcher Mackel, WDSU New Orleans. I'm Jacques Doucet from WAFB here in Baton Rouge. We'll take a commercial break. We'll bring Mike Scarborough on. We got LSU spring football starting up in late March. The spring game is April the 23rd in Tiger Stadium. We'll talk some Tiger football, you could say in some ways saving the best for last. Come on back.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. And at Relief Windows, they will never take $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work. Seriously, no deposit, no down payment. They do not want $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work that they do. That's Relief Windows. And what a time of year. We are moving to the winter months, and this is the time of year when those leaky, drafty windows can become costly. Of course, lets the cold air in, the warm air from your heater out. Make your home more energy efficient. Lower your monthly energy bills. Increase your home's resale value with energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, and sports on TV. What more could you possibly want? How about sandwiches? Well, they've got those. What about salads? Pluckers actually has really underrated salads. Giant, gorgeous, fresh salads. You can actually eat healthy at Pluckers. Or you could just binge. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings tossed in your favorite sauce. You want to create your own menu item? Do it. They encourage the creativity. Great sides as well, like the cheese fries, the El Guapo dip, maybe the homemade blue cheese potato chips, holy macaroni, fried pickles. They got it all at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. The best place to watch the game, which game? Any game, is at Pluckers, because you can eat wings, drink beer, and watch sports on TV. Remember, at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. That's where you can check them out, Michelli.com. Remember, at Michelli, they do offer ISO 17025 accreditation. You can learn more at Michelli.com and other accreditations and standard calibrations as well. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All of their different services and products are at the website. The website is a great virtual font of resources. So many times, clients will say, oh, I didn't know you did that. Go to Michelli.com. The track system that they offer is a great asset. Track records, assets, and calibrations. It's an acronym. And what this allows you to do is track the status of the calibration of your devices. And then it also gives you a record of those calibrations at your fingertip online for free, 24/7, 365, so you can be more efficient. Michelli Weighing and Measurement.
Welcome back to After Further Review. Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona today. Had a good time with you guys. We've got about 20 minutes left to go in the show today. Appreciate Sean Woods from Southern University, the head basketball coach there, coming on. The great Kim Mulkey, Hall of Famer, making some time for us today as well. Bill Franques was fantastic as usual. And my good friend and great sportscaster and reporter Fletcher Mackel from WDSU in New Orleans. I would like to make a quick use one spot here to make a Red Rock and Blue reference. Red Rock and Blue coming up again this summer. Our softball tournament that anybody can enter will be at Oak Villa in late June. We are very excited that Breck is getting those fields turfed. It is a huge story for us, believe me, after years and years of those dirt fields, and if it sprinkles and you can't play and whatnot, and those guys that work out there work as hard as they can, but it was a losing situation. So very excited that those fields at Oakville are getting turfed. We'll have the softball tournament. We'll have a concert with some local bands July the 8th at the Varsity. And we're transitioning out of the celebrity softball game. It was great. It was awesome. Kind of ran its course, especially now with NIL and COVID and some other factors over recent years. We're going to transition to a golf tournament October 29th, which will be the bye week for LSU football. It's a Saturday at Santa Maria, and we'll do a celebrity golf tournament. And we'd like to announce that Chick-fil-A, the great people at Chick-fil-A, Brad Arton and those guys are going to be our title sponsor across the board and have come aboard. So that's a major announcement for Red Rock and Blue, and we give back to local military charities like Blue Star Moms of Louisiana, and try to do great work every year and try to give back, between $30,000 and $50,000 each year. We've done that for a long time. So we need sponsors. If you want to sponsor, please contact me. You know where to find me. All right, Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona, and time to talk some Tiger football, LSU football with the great Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. Mike, what's happening, man?
Nothing, man. I was blown away this morning when we got the media alert that we're going to get Brian Kelly 2 days in a row.
Well, look, Charlie Hannengriff is a legend, and I don't think there was really anything wrong with what Charlie said. I think we've all gotten used to a routine, right? There's just a lot of change out at LSU, and we had gotten used to over the years when coaches are hired, we have press conferences to introduce them. When a signing class is signed, we have a press conference with the head coach to talk about the signing class, and some of those things haven't happened, and Brian Kelly was introduced as LSU's new head coach December the 1st, and we haven't heard from him in a press conference since then. I really didn't have a huge problem with it. I did understand the question, well, why? When is he going to talk? I understood that as well. But, look, he had to repair the roster. He had to hire a staff, and now As Mike alluded to, let's see here. LSU head football coach Brian Kelly is scheduled to hold a press conference to introduce his first coaching staff. The defensive staff and special teams coordinator will be introduced on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. That includes defensive coordinator, linebackers coach Matt House, safeties coach Kerry Cooks, cornerbacks coach Robert Steeples, defensive line coach as well, and run game coordinator Jamar Kane, and special teams coordinator Brian Polian. So it's going to be a party tomorrow. And then Thursday, offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock, associate head coach Frank Wilson, quarterbacks coach Joe Sloan, and the wide receivers and passing game coordinator Cortez Hankton, who has been highly praised. So, yes, back-to-back press conferences at noon till 1 the next 2 days.
Yeah, and that's after 4 press conferences today with all the other coaches. So it's and then you've got LSU at Louisiana Tech tomorrow night. That ticket nobody can find tickets for. LSU up at Rupp. The women, of course, Alabama Thursday night. So it's a busy 72-hour period for the media and just going to be loads of information out there.
Mike, I tell people that football season is the most passionate time of the year where the most people are invested. But like from mid-February until April is the busiest, most hectic sports time of the year. It is crazy how many.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I would get a kick out of people. They'd say, after signing day, they'd say, Mike, well, I guess you can go on vacation. I said, man, are you crazy? Like, the busiest time of year is the spring. And then you add on top of that, for guys like me that cover recruiting, you got a big junior day coming up on March 5th. It's going to be a who's who of in-state and out-of-state kids coming in town. So you got that on top of all the sports. Now women's basketball's packing the place. I just got off the phone with Grant in sports information, and he told me he's finding out things that he's got to do that he didn't know he had to do because of just, how exciting things are around women's basketball and all things that are going on. By the way, the Michaela Williams that with Parkway that played Zachary last night in the playoffs, I was trying to find out if Mulkey was there watching her play, but she wasn't, and evidently it's I think there's some rule maybe where they can only have so many views of certain games. So my guess is she's probably holding out that maybe Parkview will be playing in the state championship games in Hammond in a week or two.
And I want to talk football with you, but certainly I think you are a great example of Kim Mulkey and her impact and her ability to move the meter, right? I mean, a lot of your subscribers and a lot of people that go to tigerbait.com probably had never stepped in the PMAC for a women's basketball game. They could care less. They were not interested. When her name came up for the job, you had phone calls, posters every day. Is she coming? Is she coming? Is this really going to happen? And now, like when you put videos up of her, I know I put a video up of my top video views on my Facebook page and my Twitter account seem to all be Kim Mulkey. Whether it could be a 10-second clip of her yelling at a ref or a great soundbite. I mean, I don't want to overstate it, but she's the greatest thing that's happened around here in a long time.
No, I told somebody the other day that it is the equivalent of having 2 men's basketball seasons at the same time, because it's absolutely what it is. Her press conference was 30 minutes behind Will Wade's today, yet the views on her video on our YouTube channel is 3 times Will Wade's.
That's something. Yeah. Well,
and it's been trending like that for weeks, and so yeah, I was astonished during the whole Mulkey coaching search. I think our front page was nothing but photos of Mulkey, like 5 or 6 entries, and it was that way for a week. And I kept waiting for one of my football heads to say, "Man, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it never happened. I mean, everybody's bought in. It's called Mulkey fever.
Well, and I go all the way back to covering those Final Four teams from 2004 to 2008 at LSU, and I remember what some of the fans would say. Oh, that Kim Mulkey and her blonde hair, and she thinks she's cute with her outfits and the way she yells at refs and blah, blah, blah. And now it's, oh, I love Kim Mulkey in those outfits, and I love it when she yells at those refs. When she belongs to your team and your program, your perspective changes a little bit. So,
but I got a BFF of mine saying, Mike, can you ask Kim where she gets those jackets? Like, I mean, a lot of people are tuning in to see what she's wearing at tip-off.
Yeah. It's great. So March 24th is when spring football starts. What are we looking at? Obviously, the quarterback race kind of has the feel of Miles Brennan is the aging veteran, and Walker Howard is the hotshot rookie that he's going to mentor. We'll see what happens, but and we'll see how much media availability we get. I have no idea. I don't know how much they're going to let us into practice. I don't know how many people we're going to talk to during the spring. We'll find out.
Well, a couple of Fridays ago, Walker Howard had thumb surgery. In fact, the same doctor, orthopedic in Los Angeles that did Drew Brees' thumb surgery did Walker Howard's. So I know when I talked to Jamie, he said the hope was that Walker would be possibly able to finish the second half of spring practices.
Okay.
But after looking at the dates, and they were saying it was a 6 to 8 week recovery, that might be pushing it. But I know they went in and they tightened up the thumb, which was something that was ailing him for really a year. And then it started to affect his throwing motion a little bit because he was, trying to adjust his motion because of the thumb. So it was a chain reaction. But I think really what you're going to be looking at is a Miles Brennan, Garrett Nussmeier show. And then, of course, I'm really going to be watching the offensive line. And there's going to be a lot of interesting positions. Hopefully, I've talked to some Notre Dame media guys, and they kind of tell me that what access they got. So I think we're going to have more than we had before if he brings down some of his policies down from Notre Dame to LSU.
We'll take a commercial break. We'll finish off the show with Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com talking LSU football. Jacques Doucet filling in for Matt Moscona.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org, expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge. Listen, I mean, I've had so many personal experiences and family experiences with the Baton Rouge General that I just continue to rave. There's the Heart and Vascular Center over at the Baton Rouge General have been incredible. I can tell you, both of my mother-in-law and my father-in-law have each in the past couple of years had a heart attack, and the Baton Rouge General saved their lives. And the quality of care and service that they provided was exceptional. If it's emergency care, if it's cancer, a newly announced partnership with Mary Bird Perkins, you can deliver your baby there at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Or maybe it's surgery, like we talk about. There are elective procedures with the robotic arm, the Mako robot that we talk about, and other robotics. Cutting-edge surgery, less downtime, smaller incision, faster recovery. It's all available at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more online at brgeneral.org.
Are you thinking about a new vehicle? Come to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas and pre-order your next Toyota. It's an easy process, and Toyotas are getting to our lot weekly. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. If you want to look and feel like your younger self, the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana makes that happen. Hormone replacement therapy, you don't need an appointment. When you're on routine therapy, you go in on your given day, whichever day is best for you. You're in and out in less than 10 minutes. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Feel better. So many times, you don't know how bad you feel until you start feeling good again. They can help you out. TheAntiAgingClinics.com, TheAntiAgingClinics.com.
All right, stretch run of After Further Review. Jacques Doucet from WAFB Channel 9. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, joins me right now. We've got a feature coming up on WAFB tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Brad Davis for Black History Month. And Mike, I was able to visit with him on some football-related stuff, and I think one topic that's kind of going around is who's LSU going to start at center, and he said they're working 5 or 6 guys right now, and I think his words were, we will find somebody to snap the football properly. So that is important, but I think that's one thing. So anyway, he's looking at a lot of different guys to do that next year.
Yeah, and so people are talking about Martinez, floating the idea of Dellinger. Of course, Emory Jones arrives later, but I hope Emory Jones from Catholic's able to stay at guard. I think he's an all-SEC guard at some point. And but I keep saying of the 4 remaining spots, to me, center is the number one position to find in the transfer portal. Unless one of these guys they cross-train or they find a superb one in spring football practice that's already on the roster, but we'll see.
Yeah, I said, give me a quick word on each one of these guys, and I just went down the line. And I said, Emory Jones, I think he said superstar. And I said, Will Campbell, first-round draft pick. And so those are at least 2 guys where you start. He said Bo Bordelon, I think, was true LSU Tiger. He's going to work for everything he gets. And Fitzgerald West, he said, reminded him a lot of himself. Of course, Brad Davis was an offensive lineman on the 2000 national champs with Oklahoma. So he gave us a lot of good stuff that I look forward to sharing.
Fitzgerald's got a bright future, but he's never played the position full time. So I think that's why, he's heading, in my mind, for a red shirt. And then if you can find you a big-time center after everybody's completed spring practices from the transfer portal, that is if somebody doesn't step up. Martinez, is it maybe Garrett Dellinger gets a look there? That's one of the guys that everybody's floating, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and then they got the 2 guys out of the transfer portal, Miles Frazier from Florida International, who, when you look him up, he lists as a 2-star, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that was out of high school. And then Tremont Shorts,
right.
This guy's a giant, huh? The one from East Tennessee State, he's a big dude.
Yeah, so who will they work there? And, of course, some of the guys, you're going to get a whole influx of other guys that arrive in the summer. So, I think when we get out to spring practice and they're spread out over 4 practice fields, it's going to look kind of thin, I think.
All right, Mike, we've got about 20 seconds for you. Tell everyone where to find your stuff.
That's it. Go to tigerbait.com. Site's absolutely loaded with LSU content. Subscribe. We want to have you on board with us.
You're like Coca-Cola. You were the original, the first ever, right?
That's it. Classic.
You and Dandy Don. Coin flip there, right?
I got it by a month.
Oh, there you go. All right, I'm Jacques Doucet. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Kim Mulkey, Sean Woods, Bill Franques, Fletcher Mackel for all joining us today. Made it through the 3 hours, folks. Tip of the hat to Matt Moscona for doing this 5 days a week for sure. Have a great one.
AFR.
All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified, pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Y'all, I can't say enough about my friends at South Point Volkswagen. They've always been awesome to me. We've bought so many Volkswagens over the years. We've had Passats and CCs, and Eric and I now each drive an Atlas. We're just a very big believer in the Volkswagen brand. I tell you all the time about the great German engineering. Without the cost, you get the style, the feel, the performance of luxury without the cost, and you're always driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. But, man, they've always been awesome to us. The level of service has been amazing. But here in the last month, when I've gone through my wreck, I'm still waiting on my vehicle to come back. The way that they have worked with me, with the body shop, getting me in a vehicle here or there when I need it, they've been awesome. I mean, they go above and beyond at South Point Volkswagen. I could not recommend them highly enough. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Dad!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Yes!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in stock with $2,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $2,000 bonus cash on new 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Shop now at BayouCDJR.com. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.